And we're live. Hello, everyone. It is I, Almantas, former professor, current VTuber, old man who loves old things, and I have been joined for the first time on this channel.
Yes. Crazy.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, it's Janken Palm.
It's me. Hello, everybody. It's been a while. Well, I mean, not been a while technically here. It's my first time. Well,
yeah, that's it.
No,
Yeah,
it's kind of not really, but kind of the first time in my flesh form, VTuber flesh form, I could say. But
yes,
hello, Hal. How are you, sir? Are we late?
We are quite late, and this is absolutely my fault. I have complained about this on the channel a couple of times. Miss Janken, you really don't need to worry about seeing the background. I've been complaining about this for weeks on my own channel, that I have not been able to get uninterrupted sleep. I keep on waking up after like 3 hours. After like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And so when I took a nap this afternoon, I thought I was safe. I thought it was going to be smooth running.
That was a little bit more than a nap.
It was longest sleep I've gotten since like July. I'm going crazy.
Crazy. I'm putting him to sleep. Literally.
Already. You didn't even show up.
Exactly.
Yeah. It was your absence. It was your absence.
It's the whole shenanigans of changing the schedule because we miscommunicated. What's the first one? My fault. And but hey, we're here, right?
We're here. We are here. We are here. I am. I am.
What's up with the sleeping? What's up with the sleeping?
So, I will say this is like a common, well-known thing about me. I am never a good sleeper. This is like
me neither. So I completely get it.
Yeah, one of my favorite little stories is that my mother worked in nurseries. She's a baby's expert. She's very, very familiar with the ways of the littlest folk, and she was I'm not even the first kid. I've got older siblings, and so I am born. Right, and then they send me home.
I believe that.
That's usually the order of events. I'm born, and they
that
send
usually.
me home. And the same day, my mom goes, "There's something fucking wrong with this baby. Like, this baby's busted."
What prompted that?
I couldn't fall asleep.
It was a little bit early. Oh, because of the sleep.
Yeah, like I was already having identifiable sleep problems within 24 hours of being born.
Wait, so that's like a lifelong issue you've
been
having?
Oh yeah, insomnia is a lifelong.
Oh, it's part of insomnia. Okay.
Normally I'm fine once I fall asleep. Normally Normally it's like I go to bed and I am laying in bed and tossing and turning for hours, and then I fall asleep and then I'm fine. But it's normally I have trouble falling asleep. I
see.
Or that's not even very predictable, because like I'll go to bed and like sometimes I'll fall asleep in like half an hour, 2 hours, and that's whatever. But sometimes I'll just like miss an entire night of sleep. That's it.
Okay.
Just like a full 24-hour period of 0 minutes of sleep.
You've ever been like diagnosed or something? Like
annoyingly, I did have a sleep study, and they said it was they diagnosed me with apnea, and
yes,
I was like, that can't be right. That can't be right. And the big reason why that can't be right was so like apnea, for folks who aren't familiar with this, or do you want to explain this one, Janken? Do you want to get a word in edgewise?
From what I understand, from what I was told, basically it's kind of weird in our bodies when we reach a certain point of sleep. There's 3 stages or something like that, and when we reach, I think, the middle one, basically there's something in our system that will relax in our mouth, the soft, in French we call it palate. Is that also correct? Yeah, in English.
We pronounce the T, but yeah. Yeah, soft palate.
Yeah, the soft palate will soften, as it's called, and basically abnormally going and obstruct the breathing canals, and the body being like, for a moment, your brain for a moment just like, help, I'm not breathing, help. So instead of waking you up, being like, if like you would be in danger, you would probably wake up. The asshole body of ours and brain is just like, you know what? I'm gonna fix this. Like, don't need to wake this guy up. I'm gonna send a little electric shock, just a touch, just to like make sure that this stuff retract normally and I can breathe. So we'll be sending this little shock, but that little damn shock is basically preventing you of reaching the third stage of sleep, the deep sleep. That is where you actually really recover, and that means that we sleep like shit all the time, basically.
Yeah. So that is all more or less my understanding as well, is that apnea occurs when your body inadvertently blocks your own windpipe while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
So the reason why I know that diagnosis of sleep apnea was nonsense was that I did not fall asleep during the sleep study at all. I was wide awake for the entire 24-hour period of the sleep study. So I could, it can't be apnea. Like, it just cannot. It's like, I could have apnea independently, but there's no thing that could have happened during the sleep study that would have diagnosed me with apnea. Because
something like this happened to me too, but apparently, I remember I was like, how do you know? I don't even think I slept, because me too, I had something like that. And they were like, oh, but like you for some point were relaxed enough for us like to establish that's what's happening. Because I had something very similar on that matter. So yeah, I even me, we are kind of in a similar situation. I do usually sleep 6 hours every day at least. Which sounds better than you, and I have no issues like falling asleep, but it's sleep is not something that is enjoyable like other people like are just, I just slept like 12 hours today, I feel so refreshed. I'm like, good for you.
But yeah, so I've gotten a sleep study done. It did not hit any of this stuff. The idea that I've got some form of insomnia is like pretty uncontested, because like none of the doctors are really willing to believe me and not willing to disbelieve me and go, no, you're definitely falling asleep on a regular basis. None of them are silly enough to say that, because it's such like a non-competitive symptom. I shouldn't say non-competitive, non-controversial, a non-confusing symptom. But yeah. So like I don't. So normally I just have trouble falling asleep, and then if I stay asleep, once I fall asleep, it's usually like, all right. I usually get okay-ish sleep. But the last couple weeks, and I don't know what it is, and like half a dozen other people I know have been saying the same problem for like the exact same period. Like starting in like August, they can't sleep anymore.
Season, yes, do play a huge part of that. Well, some people
insanely,
say
there's a part of me that was like, is this a disease? Like, is this like infectious? Is this a new COVID symptom? Are we on the new COVID symptom?
I don't think so. But yeah,
I know I'm
do know
that season. I know I'm grasping at straws. I am begging for some sort of explanation. That is
there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff with sometime medicine. We go, like, I've often seeked a professional, but I wonder why. I want to understand. Like, I don't want to just like being seen and like, take those. No, I want to understand what's going on, like with my body, and there's often a lot of stuff that little cute music.
Yes, we got a
Raider coming in.
Sound. That's my raid sound. Welcome in, Raiders. Hello, Invictus. Hello, Invictus. Invictus is also an old man. Invictus has a very old man. Model.
Actual old man.
You might recognize it if you go take a look at his.
Maybe.
He has a pretty funny model would be the phrase I would use.
No, I do not think I've seen them before. Oh, interesting.
No, it is not that it is a model that is known. It's a model from VTubing. It's known from other contexts. How are you doing, Invictus? What were you up to? My cool shout out command is broken because Streamerbot's been being a baby the last 2 weeks. But what were you up to? Invictus? And I know Invictus from me and Invictus recently had a little a spirited debate on Twitter, and I actually had more thoughts, but I didn't. I felt like I may have been being mean to you, so I was like, I hope I'm not annoying him. I did have some other things I want to follow up on.
You're mean.
I don't think I'm mean, but I always worry that like any. Well, okay, this is like a personality defect on my part. Is it like anytime I disagree with a person, I feel like they're getting mad at me. I think that, which is the horrible habit in academia, and like in academic context, I'm a little bit better at dealing with it. But like when I'm dealing with non-academics, I'm always just like, anytime I say like, I think you're not correct about this, I'm like, I need to like apologize to this person, like bake them cookies and stuff. Like very bad people pleasing. It's definitely.
I have absolutely no problem telling people I think they're not correct.
Imagine being in QA and having that problem.
Oh, I have to. I have to stand my ground.
That would be
like, no.
That would be permanent mental torture. That would be a nightmare.
Because the number of time that they just don't want to hear it because they don't want to work on it because whatever, like they're doing something else in their head, like they don't want to deal with that. I have to. I have to stand my ground. At the end, they often have the final verdict, but I have to definitely stand my ground.
Yes, hold on. I need to be the professional streamer here and say hello to the Raiders. Hello, Invictus. Hello, Rabid Mutt. I hope that you are enjoying Uma Musume. For the Raiders, my name is Almantas. I'm a former professor of sociology. I'm currently anime online for money. And I am doing an Old Man Yap with fellow old man Québécois Janken Poem.
Bonjour, bonsoir, hello.
Hello.
Yes, that I'm quite into Uma Musume.
I do. That was a deep backup question I had in case we ran out of steam tonight, was to ask some question about Uma Musume. It would be, I don't know if I should call it so much a deep backup question, but it's wasn't my first priority because I know very little about Uma Musume. I am. Well, actually, this is kind of like the kind of slight fun aside about it is that there are elements of Uma Musume that I find intriguing because I'm looking at it from the outside and it looks a lot like Monster Rancher to me.
In the gameplay, yeah. A lot of people has compared to that, but there is a huge real life event that happened. You maybe have seen people talk about that. I
did see people talking about that one of the in-game horses passed away.
Real life.
The real life inspiration for the in-game.
Yes.
And it was the one that everybody really likes.
You know the story. You know the story of this
she
horse?
lost like 120 races in a row and then retired.
13. But there's a lot of. But maybe we can use that as a segue, actually. You know what? Because
she's a fan
we
favorite,
wanted to talk about Japan.
Yes,
I did.
I
know you wanted. Right.
Yeah, I will finish up my thought on so my big thing with Uma Musume, and the reason why I've never fired it up is that I do not like gambling at all.
There's no gambling in Uma Musume.
I'm not talking. You spend. It's a gacha game.
Oh, there's no. Well, okay, fair.
There's a metagame gambling. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
That's
meant like story
no,
wise.
no
Yeah.
in game I don't mind as much. It doesn't like I kind of like deterministic games. Like I can play with Balatro and have like a decent enough time. But spending I am such a cheapskate. I hate spending money so much, man. It's
I get it, but no intention of me of convincing you.
Oh yeah, no,
this game is 100% playable without spending money.
Yeah.
They really made it as knowledge is the most powerful thing in this game, really, much more than like the gacha. Even if you've spent like thousands, let's say, of dollars on this game, it's not like gonna make you win instantaneously. Having the knowledge on stuff is much more powerful.
And I will say that this partially I come by it somewhat honestly. Janken, my understanding is that you come from a hardy line of Quebecois trappers and loggers.
Yes,
and
I mean, technically, don't want to dox myself too much. But I also have pot of Scottish somewhere in my blood.
A lot of us
we had some
in the in the American Northeast have that.
Exactly. But
hello,
mostly the very Quebecois part, yes.
Yes, very Quebecois. But yes, I come from a line of utopian hippies, going back well into the 19th century. Like if you heard about like insane Christian communes in the United States, I've probably got family members who lived on at least on almost everyone that you've heard of. And so one of the consequences of this is that the main story about gambling in my family was that one of my grandfathers, and this would have been, back in like around, like late 1800s, early 1900s, won like $20 playing poker. And he felt so guilty about this that the very next day he gave $100 to a homeless shelter.
Okay.
that is the level of like gambling that happens in my family. I am reasonably sure that like up until like my brothers, nobody like touched any gambling for like decades. So it's like very like ingrained in me
only when money is involved.
Yeah. Money is the problem. Money is the problem.
If we go like super philosophical,
yes,
we could like say like running a content online is a bit of a gamble.
Oh yeah, no,
like,
I recognize that I'm taking a huge
money.
Risk. I recognize that what I'm doing
involved.
Right. It's. I recognize that I'm taking a huge risk by this, by doing this whole streamer thing, but it's it's also worth noting that part of the reason why I didn't do anything like this until I was old was that getting to the point where I felt comfortable with this kind of risk took a lot of time and change in my life.
I was told when I was younger that I would be the kind of person that gets younger as they get older.
Oh, this is a commonality.
You that just said that, kind of like reminded me of that because now you're kind of older, so now you kind of permit yourself more, maybe stuff that you wouldn't have done like before.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is a commonality of people who come to my channel with any frequency is the describe born old feature. Mix one of my frequent
I've known people like in their 20s and I'm like, you are such an old man, like in the way that they are.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because I worked in the welfare system for a long time, and because that's a common thing for sociologists to do after they leave the sociology field as academics, is they go into like human services type work. And I really don't want to overplay it because the majority of the reason why people wind up needing the human services, needing welfare, is because of large structural things that are way outside of anybody's control. However, you are disproportionately likely to meet people in that system who really very clearly never stopped being teenagers.
Yes.
You know, they're
I
50,
know
60 years
exactly
old and
what
they are
you're talking
still
about.
teenagers.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
that is also, like I said, the dominant feature of why somebody winds up at your desk is because they got sick, they got injured, they got kids way too young, that kind of thing. But there are also some people who would be doing better if they had some better impulse control.
Yes.
to put it simply,
I
I just never,
can understand that.
yeah. And anyway, you had some thoughts about the horses, about the horse dog.
I just wanted to use the event of Haru Urara passing away to kind of segue into the Japan topics. Just say how in our prime, so like probably like 20 years ago or something, in the year 2000, like when Japan was kind of of a rough spot after kind of the 90s. Actually, was it more than the 90s? Yeah, 29, and probably had our career like around 3. That's usually, yeah, so probably in the 90s where like it was kind of rough, and the market was kind of oh, I'm talking to the sucks now. All right.
Yes.
So basically having like this horse that never gives up despite like having the losing streak, and people would go there in Japan to the track. They would bet on the horse, knowing that they will not win. They will not. They were not betting, but they were not betting. They were not betting to win. They were betting to support the local, because she was always local in a racetrack. Like she never did like nationals and stuff like that, right? She never won. And they would keep the betting ticket and they would transform it into an omamori.
Okay,
you know
that's
the
cute.
You know the omamori.
That's the sort of like twisted paper that you use as a good luck charm.
The twisted paper is more like what you put after you did your luck reading at the temple. The omamori is more like a charm, and you can be a charm of like many things. And in this case, I think there was a word play, because Japan love word play about the betting ticket, and basically it was seen as a charm for safe driving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because there was something like of a word play. Janken probably knows. And then people would just like go and do this in a very kind of traditional Japanese way of inspiring themselves, which definitely I think is inspiring to see something like that. Is very, I don't know. It feels very Japanese to me, and I really enjoy this lore of horse racing that comes with it, and it feels like, only in Japan kind of thing.
Well, it's I was having I've been thinking about this for a while, because this is, Japan is in many ways kind of a prestige culture to us VTubers, and it's my second best language, and I will hear a lot of emphasis made about differences in the Japanese mentality versus other cultures, usually American, and I tend to be kind of dubious about a lot of the things that people argue are the big defining features about the distinctions between my culture and their culture, or between these two cultures, mostly because I think that they're too obvious, and they often require ignoring important parts of either culture. So like one of the big ones that gets highlighted is like, Japanese people will really emphasize the collective over the individual.
No, this is not as it's not as simple. Yeah, I know
It's not
exactly
simple,
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's really not as simple.
It's not that simple. Americans emphasize the collective a lot. They just deny that they're doing it a lot of the time. You know,
and Japanese has a lot of selfish individual moment that are like terrible, and then it made me react in a very kind of unhappy about just like being like, collective, yeah, we can see that.
yeah.
And that kind of stuff. No, it's at work. It's, how can I say? Yes, the collective aspect is there, but I would say that it's really in more like in conventional places, like at work, at school, and it's more like kind of force, like it's kind of expected, and then the idea is that you kind of hope that the kids will grow into following what is meant to be the norm. But in reality, and that's what I say all the time, even here at home with Miss Janken, or like whenever I talk to other people, like at the end of the day, Japanese people are humans, and just like humans, like have tendency to be selfish and being like self-serving. They are not an exception of that. And I was telling someone the worst place. I was telling a friend not too long ago, the worst place where you see all of that come out, and I don't know if it's like culturally accepted, it's in the train. In the train, it's war. In the train, you can be you can be borderline violent, pushing, and like being inappropriate. There's something where all of their frustration kinda is let go in this micro environment that is the trains in Japan.
So what I'm hearing is that if there was to be a Japanese version of falling down or going postal, it would start on the train.
There's a lot of those, like the crazy people that will do like group targeting will often go in trains. Yeah.
And I will say, like, I'm a New Yorker. I'm on the train all the goddamn time. The portrayal that you hear in American news media about how insane the trains are and like how scary they are is completely fucking ridiculous. The train is... The people on the train in New York are safer than the people on the street in New York, like the drivers.
Yes,
New York City drivers are like much safer than like suburban drivers. Like it is, the New York City train system definitely has its issues, and it's certainly, if you're comparing it to like the Japanese train system, it's incredibly bad. But it's like what happens there is that people act as if a person being weird is like being violent, and by weird, like the canonical one, the classic one, is somebody just openly sobbing on the train, and like that's just the thing that you just let them do it. Like you just let them do it. It's like somebody's having a bad day, and this is where they happened to be when it all fell apart. And it's, if you consider that like equivalent to getting mugged for some reason because you're one of the weirdest people on the planet, then yes, the New York City train system is extremely violent. But if you are any other type of human being on the planet, it's just like, oh, that's a person having a bad day. Oh, yeah. Hello, Ratmust. And I do not... Yeah, that is a... I do not like it when the train stops, because sometimes the train will stop in New York and, like, you don't know what's going to happen, and it starts getting really hot. If there's a shutdown. If it runs out of power, it gets very hot very fast.
I think I've never witnessed that in Japan.
It's one of those things that people that like the structural engineers are keeping from us, and it's for extremely good reason. It's extremely reasonable that they do not tell people about this, but like any tunnel that you're in is functionally an oven that needs to be ventilated actively all the time, or it kills you. Like we've had tunnel accidents where like the power shuts down in like large scale tunnels, and like people die. And not just like in America. This is like anywhere. And like the worst one was like in France, where there was a like it's actually kind of spooky. Like once I learned that, it's like, oh no, these things like you don't have to worry about the tunnel like collapsing on you nearly so much as like if it runs out of power, like just like people breathing in here is going to overwhelm the natural ventilation like really fast.
Really, I've never heard of that.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, the BART is. I mean, yeah, Ratmos is right about that with the BART, the Bay Area Rapid Transit, which is a cute acronym. I always found that to be a cute acronym. But I do not know Butsukari Otoko. I'm guessing it's some sort of dude.
What was it? The Butsukari Otoko. I think it's the kind of men that will do exactly the things that I talked about. That will on the train they will like they will use violence, and they will definitely vent their frustration on in public. But yeah, I think mostly in the train. If I remember correctly, it's a typical men, the men who take their frustration by running into people. Yeah, especially running to people. Yes, colliding. Yes. Well, walking into someone with a little bit too much strength, and on purpose. Basically, yeah, especially against women.
Of course.
Yeah.
I have a suspicion that I could probably live in Japan for 50 years and never personally have that problem. Just
you will. You will. If
you
really?
Really? I suspect that just like people would be. You will.
I'm a big boy, and sometimes I swear, like sometimes it happened, and I literally like firm up, and I look at them in the face, and it's just like. You want to play this? Because that ain't gonna go well for you.
Okay. I was expecting a higher degree of cowardice. I was expecting this to be more of a bullying situation.
No. So, some people they decided that, especially maybe you're being foreigner, but no, I had those moments where I was just like, you want to play that? I'm gonna push too, because at the beginning. When you start living here, you don't want to really, I don't want to be taking too much space, and I don't want to be annoying or appearing to be annoying. But now I'm just like, like I'm the foreigner in the train, and I give like no shit. Not in the sense that I'm disrespectful, but I will not go out of my way to be kind of I don't want to take too much space, and being kind of like I'm brash. How can I say? Not in a bad way, but just like in the train, it's like I decided that like I'm not gonna let myself being push and being violently like elbowed and that kind of stuff. And I had a moment, definitely. But only in the train. That's the craziest thing. Like out nowhere else, like in Japan, this kind of stuff like happens. Like, or if so, you get stared at once in a while for being foreigner. It's really an easy country to live. Like that's what I wanted to kind of follow up. Because it is happening on the train, but. Living here in general, as long as you don't have paperwork to do, it is like such a great place to live. Like, especially when you start like being in the zone where you don't worry too much. You just like you accept that you're a foreigner. You're forever going to be a foreigner, and you kind of like use that fact to make it easier. Because as being foreigner, there are things that are not going to be expected of you, and you're kind of cheating in some ways. And you can just like enjoy more, if I could say, because you don't have to follow certain rules, and it's okay if you don't. Because at the beginning, a lot of people are just like, oh, but like, what if like I don't respect the rules, and like people like think that I'm like that's what I learned. Like most Japanese people do not care, and if they care, just the kind of like old grumpy men, just like, But at the end of the day, like if you learn to just like you can be respectful nonetheless. I'm not saying like be disrespectful, but there's just like certain rules will be probably not as expected of you. You're kind of getting like a free pass, especially as a white person.
Yeah, sadly. I did kind of. It has been an interesting thing. I've talked about this a couple times with a couple other people who've lived in Japan. That one of the things that I have heard in report backs from people living in Japan is that the experience of being a black person in Japan, in particular, every single black person I've talked to who's lived in Japan has said that Japan is a very racist culture that has a lot of anti-black racism. However, it is a different type of anti-black racism that is expressed in different ways than the anti-black racism in the United States or Canada. And depending on which person I've talked to, they've either said that it's much easier or much harder to deal with. And that is a kind of interesting thing to hear. Neither of us is black, so maybe we shouldn't pursue this too much further. But No,
it's fine. It's fine. If you want to talk about it,
I just we should probably get back to talking about white people because we've got more expertise on that one. But
we are privileged for sure.
Yeah, we are privileged on that one. And it is.
I mean, we are in general, but in Japan,
in Japan, and I was one of the ones that. So the part of studying Japanese that murdered me was Keigo. And the part that one of the things that always stressed me the heck out, that always seemed really challenging to me, was figuring out me ue me shita.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something right now. If you want to pursue the Keigo aspect of it, there's two reasons. You want to work in a business that requires it, or you're a nerd and you really enjoy learning that stuff.
It is worth saying that my Japanese teacher was very much assuming that every single student in Japanese class was planning on taking a salaryman position in Japan.
Well, okay, I'm going to tell you something. Like, there's a lot of, how can I say? In my opinion, having a Japanese teacher, having a Japanese teacher teaching you Japanese, unless they've been like out of Japan enough to understand what is it to not be Japanese. There will be a lot of things that they will not be able to comprehend, in the sense that there are some gears that don't exist, and therefore that can turn in their head because it's just like
no. This is a very accurate description of this teacher. I could even tell that at the time, and I always feel kind of uncomfortable doing this thing because I am not a psychologist and am not a member of that honored group of people, but also pretty clearly very autistic. And so just extremely rigid about social rules and not at all adaptive or exceptionally poor at kukeo yum.
I would say if it's when they deal with non-Japanese or all the time.
From what I can tell, all the time. I remember meeting his wife because this was college. This was a college professor, and she was like, "Yeah, it's a little strange. Like,
And the reason I can say that, right, is because I have experience, and it's literally crazy. It's you meet Japanese people that have lived abroad, even if it's just a touch, just a bit, and you meet some Japanese people that never did, and really, it's like there are things that like click in their head, because when you're used to think that this is the world, and then you're just like, hold on, the world is like other things. It's just like they go like, oh, the number of Japanese people that I've met that live abroad, they were just like, oh, they're kind of like bamboozling us like with this, like because they realize it doesn't have I guess, yes, it can be true for everyone, right? But it's because Japan has such a kind of a view on things that is can be very kind of restricted by the book, by the codes, that kind of stuff. And then when you're just like, what would it look like without this? And they're like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. It can be different. It doesn't have to be like that. And then often like they become like very much much more open-minded, that kind of stuff. Not saying that, like, you know, of course Japanese people can be open-minded, and I've met also like both adults and younger students that wear, but man, it's crazy, the difference.
Most of the Japanese people that I've met in the last 10 years have, unsurprisingly on account of where I live, have been Japanese people who are in New York City for some reason or another. And for a variety of reasons, for quite a variety of reasons. And so like unsurprisingly, they have certain things in common just because of the fact that they're there. But this is something of an output of what it is to have a restricted set of life experiences. And I have a very close friend in my life who, I should say a family member who has, his social life has been restricted in such a way that he tends to treat idiosyncrasies of his high school friends as cultural universals. And so, like, I will describe something. So here's this is an example that is somewhat relevant with Japan. That New Yorkers are extremely annoyed about people being late to anything. If you are up to 15 minutes late, that's like, okay, the trains were a bastard. Like, okay. But if you are but even then, you're supposed to be texting people in advance. If you are going to be late at all, you should be texting people in advance. And if you're more than half an hour late, you need to be apologizing profusely, and you need to like figure something out, even if it's not your fault. Like, that is like a big problem. My younger brother will typically be late to things by like 2 to 3 hours and not tell anybody.
And maybe it's a personal thing, but I told him
it's rude, and he's like, "Oh no, everybody does that," and I'm like, "No, they don't. It's just you. It's just you."
like being 15 minutes late, I'm like, okay, sure, but like I've known other people like this that you're describing who are 2 to 3 hours late. Like it happened like when I was younger, and I was just like. How did you think it would be okay? That's like people moved on. They're not like continuing, like waiting for you for when you're convenient. Like decide that you're gonna be there.
If again, like New Yorkers are like, if they said let's get a beer at 6 o'clock, that's because they're going back to work at 8 p.m. Like they're not. If you're 2 to 3 hours late, like they're already back at work. Like they've already moved on to the next plan. You've blown them off. You are not like a little bit late. You are not fashionably late. You made plans with somebody and stood them up. And like I've had this conversation with him, and he's like, "No, what are you talking about? That's insane." I'm like, "I literally think this is just you and your high school friends. Like I literally think this is just crazy. This is just like." Well, and actually, Miss Janken is right to point this out. I did know a physicist I knew very well when I was younger was describing to me doing a physics collaboration with some visiting scholars from South America, And eventually all the Americans, all the gringos, started lying about start times because none of the South American physicists would show up within like an hour of the start time ever.
Wow.
Like ever. It was always like an hour plus late. And I've heard this. I've heard this from an Argentine person that I know that like like they're like,
I've heard
what's with Americans? Like I tell them to show up at 7:00 and they actually show up at 7:00, and I'm like taking a shower then. Like what are they doing? And it's like Americans are at the same times and they mean it. Like
I think it's a matter of just living the way that like
it's
everything. It's cultural.
It's culturally local. It's culturally local.
But in Japan, it is for sure important to be on time, and even crazy. Not only being on time, but being too early is also disrespectful because the person was not ready to get to receive you before. You have to be on time. Like the time that they said that you should be there is the time you should be there. Not 30 minutes before. 30 minutes before, we're still preparing. But at the time that you're supposed to be there is, it doesn't really hurt to be there in advance, but if you do come in and then you're really early, like Ms. Janken saying, but there are cases where like you should try to be like on time more than like too early.
And I mean, it's actually really funny to show how local this is. Like I was mentioning my brother, but like even just like with my parents, right? There's a difference. Like if we've got plans with another group of people, right? Like we've made plans with another family to go meet them for dinner somewhere. I'll say it's 6:00 is the plan. Me and my mom at 5:00, we are dressed. By 5:30, we have done a checklist on all of the stuff we need to carry. We are double checking the car to make sure it's ready, and we are probably leaving by 5:30. My dad is getting in the shower at 6:00. like it's
interesting. Even though in the same family is interesting.
Even in the same household. Same household. Like this happened at their wedding as well. That like my mom's side showed up to the reception 45 minutes early. And then my dad's side showed up half an hour late and asked where my mom's side was.
You know what?
Like, where are they? They must have gotten lost.
You know what I'm good at when I get late? How do I say that? I convince myself that I'm okay. It's fine. It's fine. Like 5 more minutes. Like it's fine. It's not a problem. Like I can finish this. Like not a problem. It's getting really close. Like it's probably fine. And then to the point where it's like I'm late. No shit. Why did I thought I would be okay? I always deal with myself, and Janken hates it. And I don't do it all the time. I especially do it usually for work. No, not all the time.
The timing on that. Where I saw Ms. Janken say that like a quarter of a second right before you said, I don't do this all the time.
No. Because I had a feeling.
That's very cute.
But I try to be there on time. Like she just get anxious. Like she needs to be there before. I like to be there on time. Like if I am like not early, sometime I'm okay. When I'm fashionably late, I can deal with that. I can deal with that.
No, I'm still cranky about the fact that this is the second time I've been late to a collab between the two of us. I'm really annoyed about this. I'm feeling extremely embarrassed.
Okay,
about it.
Not gonna lie. Ms. Janken was like, "Is the gas is the gas leak okay this time?"
Oh, jeez.
I was asleep.
No, just health, just the health fighting me.
It's so good.
The gas leak was a crazy one. That was
crazy. That was crazy.
Man, that was Gas stoves are something else. But yes. So we really took a long circuitous route that is about to go into ads. You had a political issue that you want to bring up, a Japanese political issue.
Yes, exactly. Because you did tell me that like you wanted to talk more about Japan. You have question, and if you have anything, if you want to talk about it here live, you can ask me anything. But it was about living in Japan and how Japanese government and Japanese parties, some parties, are getting again louder and louder and make it harder and harder for foreigners to actually come and live in Japan. Sadly, there is this party. I have to check my note because for some reason for everything sacred, I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, you know about it.
Yeah.
Or is someone like
I'm familiar with them.
in the chat? Exactly. They are growing in popularity, and in the media, you hear about foreigner this, foreigner that a lot. I have heard that there are plans to make it harder to get certain type of visa, especially for companies, because and I know like if you're interested like to come here, like there are things that you absolutely will want to be aware of, because like there's certain type, I don't know all the types that are affected. I know like the self-sponsored one might be more complicated. Like they're just like making it once again more complicated, which is insane, because there's a lot of analysts and a lot of economists that are just like, what are you doing? Like we need more people, like we need more worker, especially in certain field that like we don't want to pay people for anything like manual.
I mean, I do not think the Japanese economy is prepared for the kind of expenses that would be incurred if they were to handle all elder care with
it's
native
crazy.
Japanese people. I think that it would be
happening right now. It's happening right now. Like we see sometime on the news how can I say, for anyone that is receiving pension, it's like really, really stretched and thin, and like they don't have enough to give everybody. And you hear like horror story on the news about how some people are definitely not having a great retirement because of all the pension they've been paying all their life is like barely enough to keep them afloat, like to just like decent living. So it's rough. It's really rough, and it's already rough.
I mean, it's like this is a party that I mean, let's stop me if this sounds familiar to any Americans, that they want to change the education policy to emphasize all of the ways that Japan never did anything wrong at any point in its past, that they are anti-vax, anti-same-sex marriage, do not believe in global warming. Do all these sound a little bit familiar to folks as policies for for a political party to hold?
I just think that in Japan's case is because identity is something that is so important for them, and it's just very, very simple. It's just very simple to use that, and it's just like nowhere. Like in university, in the political classes that I had, it's just how it is. There's always need to be like an enemies, right? And in a world where wars are not a thing, and it's not as simple as this is the enemy. You gotta kind of make your own issues within your own countries, right? And sadly, it's just always very easy. It's just very easy to just like to point at the person who's not the same as the rest of your society. So I think in that vein, it's just how it is. Like when things are going like incredibly bad, in the global situation, it will no matter the country, I think, to be honest. Like I have the Quebecois title under my name, right? I know a thing or two about seeing the enemy, that the people are not the same as us. Like I've grown in a province where we are basically told that like English is evil, right?
That you have a culture that's under siege by the broader Canadian community. Yes.
That we have to protect. We have to protect French, and this is why like we have the French police with la loi 101, the 101 law, and it will be sometime a little bit draconic on the non-acceptance of English and that kind of stuff. And it's just I wish, and I'm permitting myself a little bit here. It's not the kind of stuff that I really talk about on my channel, but I know you're into that kind of stuff, and you told me it's okay.
Legit.
It's sad to me. I just feel like people are so easily influenced into like don't you see like what's the real problem here? Like why do we have to like go and choose on the easier target here? Like is it because it's scary to like look at the big guy that is the problem? I don't get it. In politics, it's just very sad to me.
There's a couple of things going on there, and one of the ones that I sociologically like to focus on is that is this a narrative that reinforces existing accepted cultural narratives? Right? Like are people already prepared to think a certain way or to think this certain type of thing is a problem? And so in America, there's a pretty well-trod thing, and this is a very YouTube-y thing. There's a very YouTube-y tendency of, if you just kind of follow videos that are auto-recommended to you, you will look up a video that's about, like, why your washing machine sucks, or why you can't buy decent shoes anymore, right? The common old man complaints that people have all the time. And YouTube will funnel you slowly but surely into videos where they start blaming everything on Jews and on women. That's all the Jews and the women's fault. And this is acceptable to a lot of people because we already have existing cultural narratives where all of your problems in life are because of your shrewish, obnoxious wife who is getting in your way all the time. Once you've already been kind of taught that this is an acceptable, like, catch-all solution to all of your problems, then this sounds more and more reasonable. And it's not a uncommon thing in Japan to emphasize very strongly that basically anything that happens in Japan is uniquely Japanese and that it needs to be defended. That's pretty common, even when it's stuff that's like kind of silly. I have heard Japanese people say like, yeah, Japan has a unique culture of eating rice.
I mean, in the same way that they think that like McDonald's is Japanese.
Yeah, it's silly. It's like anything that happens in Japan is uniquely Japanese. And in fairness, like there are American versions of this. They're usually not quite as silly as being like, have a good night, Alexander, as being like, oh yeah, like nobody else eats rice as much or in the same way or like Japanese people do. And it's like, that's a lot of pressure to put on a pretty basic food item that is like one of the most commonly eaten food items on the planet.
But yeah, but it's very because it's secular. Is that a correct word? Like, and they don't. I often say, I feel a lot of Japanese don't realize that there's a world out there.
Yeah, And I mean,
yeah.
I have seen this satirized in Japanese media as well. It's not just like like there are Japanese people who like look at this and think it's like kind of comical. Like one of my favorite Japanese films, Tampopo, where they're acting like cowboys were invented in Japan. You know, it's clearly satirical, right? Like it's clearly poking fun at this tendency.
Yes.
And of course, like I live in New York, right, where this is like a common joke about New York is like only New Yorkers have grocery stores. You know,
why?
No. Well, because like New York has a type of store that is somewhat specific to us called a bodega. And a
bodega?
Yeah, bodega.
A bodega.
Yeah, like bodega.
I've heard that
like
word before.
Possibly because of Bodega Rat, who's a fellow VTuber.
Yeah, but also in general, I feel
yeah,
like
you probably heard it in general. It's just a corner store. It is a.
Well, we could say the same thing with the kombini, you know?
It's like a kombini. It's not that different. They're usually a little bit smaller. There's a little bit more emphasis on serving hot food, on like prepared sandwiches.
I feel every culture is kind of a little bit dumb because like in Quebec we have the same. We call it dépanneur. Yeah. And the dépanneur is kind of unique, but it's just like. Why do we all got a thing that like it's like I don't special? It's just a cultural corner store.
It's just a cultural corner store, and there was a pretty funny one where a person posted on Twitter that was like, I went to the bodega and I bought like a sandwich and a cell phone charger and a lint roller. Only how do people outside of New York survive without a bodega? And people are like. You go to a store, like it's like
yeah.
And so there's
but at the same time, I could say the same thing. I don't know how people survive without kombini. You would take the kombini from me, and I would just like feel like life sucks. Like, and I say that without having kombini for most of my life.
Yeah.
But in a way, I kind of get it. But it's just like that. It's people living in their own head. It's just sad. And I think the only way to really fight that is with like more education. And this is why we're getting less education.
Yeah. Well, and it's you know, it's a thing that because I come from like the education side of things. It's like you do have
that's
to.
A bit why I said
you
it.
have to be. You can have more education in a bad way. Education is not just like it's not a straightforward like. There's not just like education is not fungible. There's not like a bucket that is just like more and less educated. And you know, in the case of like the Sanseito, believes in education. In history education, they just believe in a history education where China was being physically occupied by Great Britain and was being liberated from colonial overlords by Japan. Like, like they're completely insane. It's a ludicrous. It's an absolutely ludicrous idea, and the.
Is it despair that leads people into? Because I feel like unless you're really uneducated and you really haven't seen anything about like history or the world, like someone who decided to be like, that's now the thing that I believe in. Is it like despair that kind of leads them into that? Like because they think that like they want to support something that is like stronger. How can I say that would make their position stronger? In that regard, like
despair might be a factor, but I don't really. I'm being a little bit more cynical. I think it's often laziness. I think it's often laziness and egotism that it requires a certain amount of both humility and, interestingly, self-respect, right, to acknowledge yourself as a member of a country, and also that country has done quite a lot of bad things. And I will admit that I have my own kind of moments of stumbling on this, because mostly when British people get really weird about America, and I'm like, hey, like, you're like the second biggest force in the slave trade that's ever existed on the planet, second only to Portugal. Like most of the slavery that has happened in all of human history comes down to the British Empire. You guys don't get to be like that fancy about it because of like a 10-year period where you didn't have slavery and we did. Hello, the Fiend Kismet. Thank you for the follow. But it's I do kind of bristle when the British get like too high and mighty about it, because like, oh, come on, this is like of all of the countries, I don't want to be taking a lecture from you guys. But the and also a lot of times in the case of America, there are some things that I think are legitimately very cool in American culture and history, and I will frequently run into people who just deny that those things are true. Like the number of times I've heard people say that American food, clothing, and music has no influence on the world.
I mean, at this point, it's just like nationalism, you know.
It's just nationalism. What I'm getting at here is that like nationalism requires a mix of laziness, egotism, and also lack of self-respect, all at the same time, to like really be all that appealing. Because otherwise, it's just weird, right? Like, if you are comfortable with your own skin and comfortable with what you are adding to the world and with how you relate to other people, you don't need to put all of this energy into creating like a nationalist mythology where your self-worth is riding the coattails of often people who are long dead and often people who are completely fictitious. We did get a raid during that, and I kept on going because I thought that Hal would actually like hearing that little rant right there. This is hello Halvernacht. Hello Halvernacht. Let me get the shout to Halvernacht. Hal, were you doing? Were you painting or were you playing some horrible game? What was It looks like you were painting. Hello. For the raiders, my name is Almantas. I'm a former professor of sociology, a current VTuber. I mostly do calligraphy. I sometimes paint miniatures like fellow old man Hal. And I am joined today by another old man, Janken.
Hello, everybody. Hey, it's me. And we're talking mostly about Japan right now.
Yeah, we're talking Japanese issues here. Mr. Palm is a Quebecois man who lives in Japan, and so he's got an interesting...
That is not how we say Japan in French, but there was an attempt. Japan, yes. Which is closer to Nihon than Japan. Who thought that was like Nihon was the best way to actually say Nihon, Japan, Nihon, like where? There's
an etymological explanation for it, and I don't really remember how it leads out.
Oh, I think I heard about it too. Like there was a someone who heard it wrong and like brought it back.
I thought it was a Hold on, I'm looking here. I'm looking at the Wikipedia as the classic. Okay. This is interesting. It's the same kanji, but it's how it's pronounced in Wu Chinese.
Yes.
So it's like a weird exonym thing. It's like a weird exonym.
Yes. Yes. The guy who read it was didn't know how to read it properly.
Well, he just read it in literally the wrong language. But Hal, I hope that the painting went well. As I am a big fan of Hal, and his work. And so obviously, Hal, if you need to raid and run, feel free to do so. But if you want to hang out here for a minute, because we are doing something that I think is an important part of my specialty in the VTubing sphere, which is I am very happy to be very political on stream. And so a lot of VTubers who, for very reasonable reasons, want to be a little bit more circumspect.
A lot of people
on
might
their own
not
channel.
know, might not know it, but I'm quite opinionated, and I just don't feel like on my own channel there are space. Sometime I do touch some harder topic, but I do think it's important to not be completely blind. And in the world we live in, it's just I can't really turn aside a blind eye.
It's it's actually really fun because I've known you for a while, right? Like we've been friends for like over a year.
When was the first time we interacted? Like a year?
It's on our Twitter DMs. It's over a year.
Yeah.
I think it was
because
it is funny because I have learned enough about your verbal tics that I can tell when you're like really holding yourself back. Like I can tell when like you want to say something like way spicier than you feel like you are, than you feel like would match your branding and like what you're trying to do on your channel.
It's crazy. You know what I would need out? Like I need another Québécois VTuber, and I can just go like, Chris de calice de tabarnak, ça me fait chier.
Okay.
Moi, je comprends pas. I know you don't understand, but you feel the energy,
I understood literally one word in there.
Which one?
Tabernacle, of course.
Yeah, the tabernacle.
Of course I understood. Of course that's the one that I understood.
Because I did some mononcle Janken, which is the way to say like uncle. Mononcle Janken stream, and it's so liberating to bring my Quebec aspect on talking, because just the fact of just like going like it's just imagine that there's like there's a how can I say, there's a piston, right, that I keep kind of like kind of close, and the moment that like I let it go, it just go, and it's just like letting the natural just go out.
I am friends with a Quebecois VTuber who I am I think it could be very fun to see the two of you stream together. I think if
it is who I think it is, they told me that they're not as de souche as me, unless it's someone else, unless you know more than one.
I know a total of 3 Quebecois. Well, actually, no, a total of 4 Quebecois VTubers. Actually, I know a total of 4, but one of them does not speak. Kari doesn't speak French. She's just Quebecois. Her parents are Quebecois and Korean.
I see.
And she instead speaks in puns and programming references. It's alarming. But I was thinking of Mabel.
I'm not sure I would need to look them up. But when I just go and I just like, it's transformative. Like I'll speak to you in Quebecois. You won't understand a slick of what I'm saying, but. Admettons que je me mette à parler en québécois, j'ai déjà l'impression d'être une autre personne, je parle plus vite, je vais définitivement me sentir comme plus à l'aise, je vais me sentir plus mon oncle, juste le fait que je vais parler en québécois. So basically I said, I feel just by doing it, it's just like, it's so liberating, and even like when I do speak, like this kind of lumberjack kind of French, I feel like uncle even more. I feel that in
the
English,
mentality.
the mentality. There's in English, it comes out because I am another dude, but just when I talk in Quebecois, and I'm just like kind of attitude that is easier to do in my own language, then definitely I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm just like I'm an old dude now, and I'm just like tapping into it.
Well, I mean, what Ms. Janken just said, it kind of hit me to think about this. So you've lived in Japan for a minute.
Yes.
For a minute, as they say. Are you at the point where you are like culturally frozen to like an older version of Canada? Because that's the thing that happens with immigrants. It's a well-trod thing.
Yes and no. Okay. As in, like, those friends that came in was telling me the state of it all, but history repeats itself. So just like, oh, we're back there. Like right now, just like in the rest of the world, Quebec is using a lot. So much raid.
Another old man raider. Asim Immortus. How are you doing, Asim? And hold on. Kurayami Rin, 10 out of 10, 100. And Asim, of course. Hello, Asim. Hello, Raiders. My name is Almantas. I'm a former professor of sociology, current VTuber. I am joined today by former French-Canadian, current French-Canadian, permanent weeb, Janken Pom.
Hello. Bonjour.
Yes. Do you and Asim know each other, Janken?
No, I do not think so.
Asim is a hardcore old school weeb. He was involved in doing like fan translations for anime in like the 90s kind of guy. Very cool dude.
Okay.
And he has been running an incredibly successful subathon. I think you hit 1,000 in the first week. It was
wow.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Yeah, I was like, dang. I was like really like, holy crap.
That's great.
But yeah, no, Asim very cool. And if you've seen my silliest, arguably my second silliest emotes, this was from Asim. This was inspired by Asim.
The kind of stuff that my people like to.
Yeah. I'm still thinking about getting the first version of that back and being like, no, it needs chest hair.
What is I don't want to give that to my people. That's what they want, and I refuse it. I refuse.
That's fair. They need to eat their veggies.
My titties stays inside.
They need to eat their veggies and imagine it for themselves. But yes. Well, thank you, Asim, for sending your folks. Yeah, 1,067. I don't know what to do with that information. That's like kind of mind breaking.
What is the first anime? The oldest anime you think you know?
That I know, or that he knows?
Yeah, no, you. I'm talking to you, so it's easier.
That I know in general.
Yeah, what's the first anime that comes in mind that is like the oldest that you might know?
The first one that I think of as the oldest one is, I forget, it was part of a major series, it became a major series after the war, but there was a pro-kamikaze propaganda anime from 1944.
I have no idea. Do you have a name?
I will look it up.
When for me, when I think of the oldest one, I probably think of Demitan. Do you know the? I don't think know the full name is Kiroko Demitan.
I will say that Doraemon was one of my first.
It was so funny back in the 80s, 90s. Anime was so depressive, man. Like. Why was anime so depressive? Like it is, like I feel nowadays it's very uplifting, but old anime? Oh, Samurai Pizza Cat. Oh yeah, of course I know that. Oh man, I was a big fan of this anime. But yes, yeah, I know the song. It's yeah, I have a special place in my head for Samurai Pizza Cat. What a silly anime. That was one of the non-silly one, but yeah, there was a lot of really depressive anime back in the 80s. At time were rough, I guess, before with the economic boom. Yeah.
Momotaro's Sacred Warriors. There's a Momotaro film from World War II.
Momotaro.
Yeah.
Momotaro is a thing by itself, no?
Yeah, it's a series. It's a franchise, I guess you might call.
But isn't it like something by itself? Like, yeah, Momotaro by itself is the peach kid, right? The peach boy.
Yep.
Yeah. But they made like a anime.
Yeah. And
out
I
of
was
that.
wrong. It was April 1945, so incredibly late war. But yeah, they made a Momotaro. Oh wait, no, they also made a 1937 one. Okay, so 1947, 1943. Yeah,
was it anime in that time period though? In the sense that like, or was just like more like animated work?
I mean, you can take a look at it and tell me, but they have the entire movie up on Wikipedia. This is one of those ones where it's like, old enough that they put the entire movie up on Wikipedia. Vexing Cat, thank you for the 5 gift subs. That's very sweet of you. That's very sweet.
Old anime got some hype.
Yeah, that's
you watch anime?
Some. I am the issue for me is in the part where it's watching a show. They are film and art in the style of anime. It's if you are willing to accept like Astro Boy as anime style, then like I think these qualify. They do look a little bit rubber hosey, a little bit because they're old. This is 1940s. Like, it does look a little bit like old Betty Boop style, but like Betty Boop is very much like an inspiration for a lot of anime artists. Yeah, if Astro Boy definitely counts, I think the Momotaro's Sea Eagles counts. Momotaro no Umiwashi. I will link it because this is kind of fascinating. This is this is like when you ask me like what's the oldest anime I can think of, this is the oldest I can think of. And unless we wanted to get like weirdly philosophical and be like, is Betty Boop anime? Which I don't think most people would say. And it's yeah. Otherwise, when I think of like old anime, my first thought actually tends to be Doraemon.
How old is Doraemon? Doraemon is insane. Doraemon and Conan are these 2 anime that you think should have died like 20 years ago, but like they're going like just as hard as they were back then. Like they're still so much present here. 69. That's crazy. But they're still like very much in the scene, and they still have like their merge going, and their young kids nowadays know those anime. It's kind of cool in a way. I wish that like without talking about like the big mouse, and I'm talking about the VTuber one. I'm talking about the very greedy corporal one.
The much less interesting one.
I wish that we had those cultural icon that like survive for like 50 years. Like even like someone is talking about Peanuts, right? They're talking about Snoopy. Snoopy is more relevant in Japan than in the rest of the world. Like how? Like make it make sense. It's not even Japanese, but this character is still used everywhere. There's a lot of people that like this character, like a lot more than like anywhere else in the world. And I'm just like, why we gotta be like that? Why can we not like keep some stuff? We always need to rotate into like the new trend. I don't know. I'm thinking about it right now.
Hold on. Topical Ointment, thank you for the gift sub. And Wise, thank you for the Prime. I like Wise a lot. I'm going to give Wise a little shout out here.
No problem.
Wise. Thank you, subs for the subbing. But yeah, that's actually, so we started off this conversation all the way back then about how there are Japanese American cultural differences that tend to be a bit ignored. There are Japanese American cultural differences that are overstated and other ones that are understated. And a thing that stands out to me is that as commercialized as American culture is, as much as America is a consumerist culture, I really feel like Japan is even more so. And that Japanese consumers have a stronger tolerance for really cynical cash grabs.
Oh yeah,
than
like,
Americans do.
The country of knickknacks.
Mm-hmm.
Japan is the country of knickknacks. Gachapon and all the little like useless trinkets and all that stuff. All these little things like people are just like And you know what? I live here, and I'm like, I have way too much of those little those little things. But you know what? It's just like sometimes it's just how can I say? It's like a little treat of something that you like, and you're just like, oh, like I want to maybe have one of those, or I want to try. It is a little bit like gambling if we bring back like the topic we had an hour ago. The gacha being you try your luck, right, to get the knickknack that you want. And I don't know, it's just it's normalized, I would say here, and it's also like present. And is it because of those things then you need more? How can I say? You need more figures, and then the figures live longer because those figures are still used in those commercial kind of item. Maybe I don't know if it's related.
Mix has proposed looking at the concept of auspicious charms, which. You may not know Mix. Mix is a frequent guest on this channel, also an old man. Though in his case, he was, according to his mother, he was 40 years old when he was 5 years old. But Mix has degrees in theology. And so it's and then went into psychology. So looking from the religious angle, it's not too surprising. I look at things from a bit of an economics and sociological angle, and the decline in American knickknackery has a lot to do with changes in the real estate market in America.
Okay, go ahead, because
it's two things. It's two things here that have caused Americans to kind of be a little bit less knick-knack focused than I should say millennials and even Gen Xers are less, and of course Zoomers are less knick-knacky than boomers or silents or greatest generation. And housing has been going up and up and up and up in America. It's an increasingly large percentage of what Americans spend. The average New Yorker spends 2/3 of their pay on rent. And so this means, one, you have less money to buy stuff. Disposable income is quite a bit lower. And two, you have less physical space to put things in.
Japan doesn't have a lot of space.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why this is interesting to me. There were two reasons why that was interesting. Why the knick-knackery of Japanese culture was interesting to me. One is the fact that I don't feel like Japanese people have a lot of space. They do have a lot of disposable income. That is a famous thing. You know, Japan actually has half of the GDP per capita of the U.S. About 22,000 versus about 45,000. So substantially poorer in absolute terms, but housing is so much cheaper.
Yes,
and
exactly.
And healthcare, housing and healthcare,
and not only housing, so many, everything is cheaper basically. Healthcare,
healthcare
cheap.
Is so much. I mean, it's hard to be more expensive than
exactly.
It's very hard to do that.
Food. Yeah. Food is so cheap. Going out to eat, I have my $5 enormous breakfast right around the corner that I do enjoy once in a while. And you're just like, it should not be legal to have like so much quality in food.
Do you know what $5 gets you in New York for a breakfast?
Not much probably.
A single fruit smoothie.
Yeah.
That's but it's
but yes, so the disposable income definitely probably
disposable income that's so like again, it is something, but the part of the reason why it's interesting in the case of comparing Miss Janken, I am incredibly good at shopping. There's a reason why I'm paying under $1,000 in rent. I am. When I said I was cheap earlier, I am very good at saving money.
You would be a rich man in Japan. You would be a rich man in Japan.
Probably. I would probably be very comcomfortable in Japan.
Oh yeah, it's really easy to save money here, I think.
But the part of the reason why it's surprising and interesting in with the case of Japan is that this runs like very head first into the Japanese self-perception and advertising of themselves as having a very minimalist aesthetic.
Yes, in general. You not in every fashion. There are some fashion that are definitely the opposite of that. They are not mainstream. Most probably.
Oh yeah. The truck culture, the truck decorating culture rules. I love that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a couple of very crazy, very not simplistic fashion, but in general, you would say like you go on the train and you look at people. There will be this very minimalistic approach. But where were you going with that?
Oh no! Like I said, it's interesting to. This is one of those cases where I think that there's a certain amount of self myth making going on in both American and Japanese cultures. Kira Hoshizara X64, thank you for the follow. But there's a certain amount of myth making in both these cultures. Like I said up top, one of the ones that Americans tell themselves. And I think this is very much more American myth making than observable or realistic. The idea that Americans are an extremely individualistic culture, that they're a uniquely individualistic culture. I think this is largely myth making. I think Americans are actually prone to a lot of collective thought and collective action. I think that the idea that we're uniquely immune to groupthink is myth making, and I think that
yes,
there's a certain amount of myth making in the case of Japan as well. And I mean, we talked about the Sanseito earlier, and the Sanseito is also doing some myth making. Some of it is like the very obvious myth making of being like Pearl Harbor was somehow an act of American aggression against the peaceful liberatory Japanese Navy that just happened to be in Hawaii. But the one of the ones that's more obviously kind of just like myth making is bread and wheat are American inventions that are being imposed on Japan from abroad. And
I was actually talking about bread the other day. I miss in Quebec, at least. I'm sure you have it in New York too. These bread, like sliced bread, but it's actually still, even if it's a sliced bread, it's a like whole wheat with a lot of grains in it and a lot of like flavor. And we would have those kind of bread in Quebec, but like I can't find that in Japan, sadly. Yes, it's the bread thingy is probably very mythic in the sense, but like they're in a way, Japan has taken their own take on what is bread. Japan's an innovator in bread culture. When I bake, there are bread techniques that I use that were developed in Japan and China. Like I think that Japan's participation in bread culture is actually quite fascinating, and it has caused me to as I've gotten more into baking as a cooking technique. I've always been a person who likes cooking, stir frying and sautéing and boiling, but I only in my adulthood did my old age, only in the last like 5-10 years did I become a baker, and. Having learned more about baking and having become a better baker, I have now caused myself to re-examine Yakitate Japan. I love this anime so much.
I liked it quite a lot. You asked if I watch a lot of anime, and like I said, the problem is me watching a TV show. I read a lot of manga. I don't watch a lot of anime.
You read.
I read a lot more than I watch.
We both know how I feel about reading. So
fair enough.
Yeah. But I get it.
I have better eyes.
The manager.
Yeah, I like Yakitate Japan, but it's for people who might not be familiar with this. Yakitate Japan is a cooking manga about a Japanese man who is trying to invent the first uniquely Japanese, like culturally identifiable bread, in the same way that croissants are for France, or not focaccia, but what's the one that people use for Italy? Ciabatta for Italy, and stuff like that. And fun fact, ciabatta is from like the 1980s. It's actually a very recent bread style. Very recent invention. That makes it hundreds of years later than pizza. And it's a very clever pun. I think it's a delightful pun because
yes, the Japan, it's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
The Japanese word for bread comes from the Portuguese word for bread. It's pan. So yeah, it's a very cute pun, and it's about a very cool topic, right? It's about this very cool topic, but like I've since kind of come to re-examine that a little bit from the lens of like, this guy's kind of on a bit of a fool's errand. Japan isn't a culture that lacks a sense of where to fit into bread. I can think of bread styles that are absolutely Japanese.
Japan is known, yes, the ampan for sure.
Ampan and melanpan are Japanese. But they just are.
The crazy thing about Japan, and often, like I told you, right? They haven't been out of the country, so they don't get it. They don't realize how expert they are at taking things that exist and perfectioning it. Like I've heard so many people saying that within Japan, they think that like their fast food is kind of mid, and meanwhile I'm like, you guys have no idea. Like your fast food is
my soul left my body when you said that. Like I was actually stunned.
I was talking to someone on Twitter. I think they were mentioning Taco Bell, and they were saying Taco Bell is crazy here. And then anyone would be sick of eating Taco Bell. And I tried Taco Bell in Japan. I was like, that shit's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, everyone is just like, like vomit, like inducing. But I'm just like, here, it's like, it's good. I enjoy it. At least it's like, it's not like the best food I've ever had, but it's not what people makes it like outside of Japan.
The idea that Japan has mid fast food is alarming.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, but I'm telling you, it's because they don't know anything else. And then my students, okay, when I was a teacher, they would go like, I want to go in the USA because I want to eat a real burger. And I was like, you have no idea. Like some of your burger are actually amazing. And just like Janken was talking about, they have this burger that they call the tsukimi burger, which is a egg burger. And with like its own own sauce, very Japanese style, and everything is very Japanese in the burger. It's definitely a Japanese burger, right? And it's an amazing burger. And then at the same time, I'm just like, and then you guys tell me that like you want to go to the USA because you want to eat like a quote real burger. I'm just like, I think you guys don't realize what you have.
you guys are spoiled on that one. And it is funny because there's like huge variation in American burger. Why am I being defensive about this? I've been vegan for like 15 years. I haven't had a real burger in forever. Bob's Burgers would be disappointed in me. I still feel defensive about it. But it is interesting, and like there's actually an interesting American variation on that. a very weird American variation on that, where Americans really shit on a restaurant chain around here called Panda Express.
Yes.
And so a funny part about this is that Naomi Wu, who's a pretty famous influencer from Shenzhen, visited America and had some Panda Express, and her take, and she talked to some other Chinese people and asked them about it, and all of them were in agreement that Panda Express is pretty much authentic Chinese food with slightly better ingredients than you could reasonably expect to get in Shenzhen or Shanghai.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was honestly a very funny thing to hear. That she was like, yeah, this is actually this is actually pretty legit. Like,
interesting.
Well, this is a thing that happens quite a bit, that not everybody has, that people don't always agree on, like, how to evaluate things. My absolute favorite one in all of this, because Asim brought this up, because I stand by American barbecue as a profound and amazing profound amazing thing that we have done. I think that Carolina style barbecue and Kansas City barbecue are like S tier cuisines. They're up there with like Ethiopian and Shanghainese for me. Absolute top of the pile.
And, I remember we talked about that.
Yeah. There's an article that was written in Vice in like over a decade ago. Mustard style is my favorite. Mustard is my favorite. So it was like, yeah, like Asheville.
Interesting.
Regional.
Like, to me, it's so crazy. As a non-American, I'm just like, barbecue's barbecue.
The biggest problem is that for very stupid reasons, we keep on exporting Texas barbecue, which is almost certainly our worst one.
I know. We talked about that one, about the exporting the Texas one.
But that's what I was going to talk about, because we've got some people here who probably haven't heard this one before, so I get to tell. I'm an old man. I get to tell them about the same stories.
Yeah,
over
that's
and over
fine.
Again.
Go ahead.
So there's an old article in Vice that's titled, quote, "Brooklyn barbecue is taking over the world." And it's an article about how chefs in Madrid and Seoul and other parts abroad are opening up Brooklyn barbecue restaurants. Because they come to America and they learn how to make barbecue from Americans, and then they go back to their countries and they make Brooklyn barbecue. And I'm a Brooklynite, and I can assure you, this is not a real thing. Brooklyn does not have a style of barbecue. There are barbecue restaurants in Brooklyn. They are usually doing Kansas, Georgia, or Texas. Are the ones that I have been to. And there's very obnoxiously one that's labeled a Texas barbecue joint that is actually doing Kansas City style. Very obnoxious of them. But what is happening is that I looked at the photos that they were showing off of this barbecue in, say, Madrid or Seoul, and it's Texas style. It's Texas style barbecue. And they're calling it Brooklyn barbecue because this was during the Bush administration, and so Texas had a uniquely tarnished reputation abroad.
Yes.
Whereas Brooklyn still had a certain cultural cachet. So they're literally just doing Texas barbecue and calling it Brooklyn barbecue. And whatever. Who gives a crap? I cannot care. This is like an American Chinese restaurant calling their food Hunanese when it's Szechuanese. Like, who cares? It does not matter. It has very little to do with what the food is. It has very little to do with the original culture at all. It's whatever. However, a lot of people in the conservative American media have lost their goddamn shit over it. And North Carolina passed a law specifically disparaging and refusing to acknowledge Brooklyn barbecue as a legitimate form of barbecue. And again, people in Brooklyn don't have Brooklyn barbecue. It's not a thing. Like, we don't have this here.
Yeah.
It's not our thing. This is we go out to barbecue places, and it'll be like a soul food place or a Texas barbecue place or a Georgia barbecue place, and like we don't have our own barbecue. It's not a real thing. This is an invention of a this is a term that comes out of the way that the two cultures met, that like the U.S. culture got exported, and again, of the uniquely tarnished reputation that Texas had abroad during the second Bush administration.
Yeah. You know what I'm realizing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm realizing something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Barbecue might be the closest to washaku.
Washaku.
In a sense that washaku is
that's what you mean by
Japanese.
Yeah,
Japanese cuisine. In the sense that like every region have like their take on a certain like food type, and it's very important. Like one of the most popular one is definitely the okonomiyaki, right? There you have like a style, you have like a Hiroshima style, or you have an Osaka style, and if you want a kind of equivalent in Tokyo, you would have the monjayaki, which is not really a okonomiyaki, but it's still in the yaki kind of crepe, Japanese crepe kind of thing. So when I'm thinking about that, I'm just like, yeah, it's kind of the same spirit of like the Japanese way to have like every not province, every prefecture having like their own take on food. And I was like, there's interesting.
Barbecue would be a bigger one. I'm much more defensive about barbecue than other things because despite being vegan, I love barbecue. And even Northerners tend to be shitty about it. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, yeah, but you can put whatever you want on barbecue.
Oh, I mean, this is like a thing that's like very obnoxious. Like I'll talk to Northerners don't really do barbecue as much, despite it's much more of a Southern thing. And I've spent a fair amount of time in North Carolina and Kansas City, and like I will go there and like I'll talk to other Northerners, and they'll be like, "How can you have barbecue? Barbecue means cooked meat," and it does not. It's a cooking style, and you can pretty much do anything you can do with pork with jackfruit or seitan. Like it's so like I can just go to a place in North Carolina and get like shredded seitan, barbecue style, and
seitan goes really hard.
Seitan
I don't rocks. I don't know if if some people have never tried vegan food, and let's call it vegan food. Sometimes when well done, like especially seasoning, it goes hard. Like there was a place in Montreal we really like to go. It was a vegan place. Like it was like exactly like I knew she was about to say it. I know my wife. Where we would go, and it was great. It's really good. So yeah, definitely. Would I have like vegan barbecue? Hell yeah.
It's a silliness, but barbecue is one where there's a lot of regional styles, and then the two other ones that Americans have a lot of regionalism around are chili. But that's a little bit more restricted. There's only a couple of those, and pizza. Pizza is highly regional. Pizza's highly regional, and people get really heated about it in really obnoxious ways.
It's so. Food is so humanly, deeply within our core. We take it so seriously. We take it so passionately. Food is so like we went to war for spices and shit.
Yeah. No. People want to have a tasty life, right? People want to have a tasty life, and it's one of those things that I really love about food as a type of cultural thing is the extent to which we change things across borders, right? Maybe chili if the day is real bad. Yeah, the chili is a much more subdued one than pizza or barbecue. People totally not Queekmain. I will punch your family. I think see, I'm willing to go to war with it immediately. I said that I'm immediately tilting out. No, chili means beans more than it means. The only other ingredient that truly matters is the tomatoes. Tomatoes and beans are the most important part.
Yeah, I do agree. If I don't have beans in my chilies, like what's going on here? I'm just having a soup or something.
Yeah, this is just a spicy tomato soup. No, this is instant aggression from me. My reputation in shambles. But it's interesting to see how cultures, when they meet, they immediately start figuring out ways to start doing cultural exchange over how to cook and how to learn from each other. And like one of the ones that's always kind of fun that surprises Americans often is that salmon sushi is a recent invention. That it's not an old one. Are you familiar with this little piece of logic?
I'm not sure,
Okay.
but what I can tell you right now before we talk about sushi is that every time I hear someone being fussy about, oh, they wouldn't have like this type of sushi in Japan. Bro, we go like to Sushiro, okay? And we order meat sushi. We order mayo on sushi. We order the weirdest fucking shit on sushi in Japan. I can tell you that, like, yes, maybe traditionally it wasn't, but Japan literally did not give a fuck about like the whole traditional aspect of sushi.
Americans will get tilted about it because for some reason, I don't entirely know why this happened this way. Americans got convinced that sushi refers to raw fish, not to the way of preparing rice. And so they will say like, oh, it's not real sushi if it's kanpyo maki, right? Like that's not a real type of sushi. Kanpyo maki is not a traditional type of sushi, which is very funny. Or tamago sushi is not real sushi. That's like a weird American invention, tamago sushi. It's ridiculous.
So if they wanted to be so ass about those takes, they should use the word, instead of using the word sushi, they should use sashimi, and now nobody would argue against that.
I'm not gonna try to argue that there's tamago. If somebody said tamago,
right?
If somebody started to say like tamago sashimi, I'd be like, hold on, what are you talking about?
Exactly. No, sashimi is raw fish. What are you talking about, right? But I don't know. I think some cultural aspect got lost in somewhere in between, where like sashimi is what you're actually talking about. Like sashimi, you could just have like a slice of raw fish and nothing else, and like that is it. Like that's your meal, right? Like and I think, don't quote me on that, but I think you can also have in Japan meat sashimi, but usually we say that it's like meat sashimi. It would be like raw beef or raw whatever. But we usually, I think, mention it. We add it, but sashimi would just be chicken. Yeah, they do chicken sashimi.
That's gonna make me. That's gonna.
I
make
know
me hurl.
that's crazy.
I have beef sashimi is like real. It's like already scary enough, but like chicken's like out. That's right out, man. That is. They're actually gonna be telling me some psychos out there having buta sashimi, and getting all of the diseases known to mankind. But
there's this thing here though, is generally it is safer the way that they treat products, but it's still, at the end of the day,
we were talking about sashimi and sushi. I was highlighting though that so salmon is not a traditional sushi or sashimi, and the reason for this, the reason why they didn't start doing it until I want to say 1980, is that there's actually multiple different types of salmon. on the planet. This shouldn't surprise people too much.
Yes.
And
yes.
the type of salmon that go to Japan have parasites that need to be cooked out. So the salmon that you have in sushi and sashimi is Norwegian.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, you cannot safely have Japanese salmon raw. You can safely have Norwegian salmon raw. So it wasn't until they started importing Norwegian or at least Scandinavian salmons that they start doing raw salmon with their food. Yeah,
to this very day. I never heard about that.
I mean, they might have made breeding stock of that type of salmon in Japan, but I don't know that for sure. But it is definitely not the native Japanese salmon.
But there's a lot of salmon, like you said, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of salmon. Hello, Magus Moth. Yeah, North Americans. I'm guessing it's it might just be like a Pacific versus Atlantic thing, because salmon are mostly a saltwater creature, by life cycle. Yeah, it's but yes. We are going to our second ad break, and this time I will take the opportunity to use the bathroom and put us into the away screen. So, folks, we will be back in a moment.
I don't see it on your chat.
It says 1 minute left. I'm looking at my
you see
I've got the back end. I've got the back end. The bot also gave us a 5-minute warning 4 minutes ago. So that's why I've got the bot. That's why I have the bot give a warning.
Okay.
So
are you going now?
I am going to go now.
The folks.
I was going. If you want to entertain the folks, I'll let you do it. Otherwise, I will. If you want to do it, I'll let you do that, and I'll go up and use it. Okay. Well, tell Miss Mochivus that I love her. I think she's very funny. But also she should. No, this is for Magnus. That's for Magnus because he's getting slapped with a bug zapper. I'll be right back.
All right. But that's interesting for the salmon. But when foreigners eating sushi wrong, whatever, turn around and say their favorite type is salmon. Oh, I see. Interesting. I didn't know that. Actually, I'm actually learning about salmon. I've never heard about that before right now. But yes. But if you ever hear anyone, folks listening right now, if you ever hear anyone that tell you like what is a sushi and what is not a sushi, just go on the internet and check some Japanese sushi restaurant, especially in the content sushi. The word is missing in my head. The rolling sushi. When I don't have Al. Oh shit. When I don't have Al to remind me of word. But yes, they will eat like whatever. So really, just don't listen to the hater and eat the things you like. And that's the beauty here. The conveyor belt, that is indeed the word that was missing. Thank you, Zerzon and Rabbit watching. It's now my stream. My people are here. But yes, basically, we're on an ad now. Okay, well, only the rich people can hear this. Yeah, bathroom time. Crazy. It's such a different world from mine, being in the known of when ads is going and doing things. Is it upon ye? Oh wait, we're not there yet. Oh my god, I'm such a Twitch noob. It's probably a degree of fetishing the Jap. Yes, it is. The weebs sometimes sadly are very annoying. I love nerds. I said it many times. I think nerds are cute. But weebs sometimes are not cute. They can be very much annoying when they are trying to like prove that they are more weeb than like other weebs. Just enjoy the things you enjoy, okay? And let other enjoy the thing that they also enjoy. It's not really complicated. And to be honest, here in Japan, living here, listen, I put sauce on my rice like a degenerate, okay? And I don't care. And no one has ever attacked me. and I'm fine. All right, I'm fine, and this is what I like. You've been talking to no one. We were watching baseball ads. Oh, was I now? Are you done watching the ads? I at least when there's an ad on YouTube, I can just like pretend as if I don't know. I mean, to sauce my rice with soy sauce. Yeah, like a lot of people would be like, tragedy. But just like, bro, please, let's just like, I was here. All right, good. But yeah, basically, I can tell you, you will get judged more by a weeb than a Japanese person. Like, and if anything, sometime I peek and I look. What are they doing? What are they doing, the Japanese people, when they eat? And I find myself surprised. Hey, I was talking about how weebs are annoying and they will cause you more issues than the Japanese people themselves.
Oh,
so you should just eat whatever you enjoy. To be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, actually, you somebody mentioned the putting soy sauce in their rice.
Yeah, because I mentioned that because I do it sometime, and like a lot of people would be like, and I'm just like, bro, like whatever. It's just let me enjoy the thing that I enjoy. So.
There was a really funny incident on Twitter. This was one of those always fun to talk about incidents on Twitter. Songwon Cho, who's a voice actor. He voice acted the Korean.
Pro-Z?
Yeah, Pro-ZD. Yep. He voice acted the dwarf in Dungeon Meshi.
Yes.
And so good voice actor, funny guy. And a couple years ago, he said on Twitter, putting soy sauce on your rice is some real white people shit. Because he's Korean, and it's something that to him was just insane. And it turns out that the very small, rarely heard of, tiny country of Vietnam is a country where that's very normal. That's a very traditional way to eat your rice in Vietnam. In the tiny 70 million person country of Vietnam,
maybe having takes like that kind of did not do well for him, because I think
he had a very bad couple of days. He admitted that this was a bad couple of days, and he felt pretty bad about it. And it mostly kind of just goes to show like the degree of variation between cultures and the ways that
it's
you
really
can assume
crazy.
that you know things that you just don't know.
But it's at the end of the day, it's food, man. Like we have this tendency. I don't know if we're bored. What is the human factor that is at play here? But just like, can we stop caring? Like, let's care about the things that are important. You know.
Well,
food is important, but
a general hypothesis that I have is that when you feel like you don't have control over important things in life, you try to exert more control over unimportant things. Trying to dunk on white people, but you end up actually hitting lots of other people. Yes, this is actually a thing. That was actually like the main part of that to me, was the extent to which it also revealed the challenge with trying to paint white people and Asian people with such incredibly broad brushes. I do tend to think that the more powerless a person feels and the more frustrated they are with that powerlessness, the more angry they will get about things that don't really matter. And in the United States, there is very much a culture of getting recreationally mad about things.
That's one thing that in Japan does not exist at all.
Okay,
Getting angry in general is just like is disturbing the wa. So a lot of people it's the opposite. Sometimes maybe they should get a little bit more angry. Sometimes it's like, this is outrageous. Why are you guys not angry? And just like,
In the case of, I mean, I will say in the case of America, it's very frustrating because there's some stuff that Americans should be a lot more angry and a lot more active about. And maybe we should be looking at some of our cousins in other countries, like, say, Nepal, and taking a little bit of inspiration from them. But instead, no, we are... there was, like... People were, like, trying to pass legislation and, like, signing petitions and, like, calling for mass firings because a fast food company changed their logo slightly.
Really?
Like, yeah.
This is recent?
Yeah, this is recent. This was a restaurant called the Cracker Barrel, which is... Like,
I think I heard
not even
about
a particularly
that.
popular
Maybe.
one, and they didn't even change their logo that much. They just, like, made it sans serif, which, like, every company has been doing for decades, and it's, like... I don't like it because I have my aesthetic preferences towards ornamentation or towards serifs. And then it's like, this became like a national issue, and it's like, people are dying, man. This is like, this cannot be the most important thing in the world to you.
The Patreon logo though is really abysmal. But,
a lot of it, I mean, aesthetically it bothers me because a lot of them are bad logos. Like, a lot of them are just like worse logos, so it does bug me. I'm not gonna pretend that I'm not bothered by it, but it's and sometimes it gets really, really surreal. The one that was the most surreal to me was this was like over a year ago. Maybe not a year ago. Like it was, I think, last winter. The governor of Florida went on an absolute tear about the evils of electric stovetops and about how everybody needs to convert over to gas stove tops like immediately, and that's like the only true American one, and it's a conspiracy that anybody even has electric stovetops. And I was like really kind of losing my head about this because I have a gas stove. Because I live in New York, which is the only place in America where gas stoves are actually more common than electric. In Florida, it's 99% electric stoves. Nobody has gas stoves in Florida. They're like unheard of there. And this guy's trying to act like it's like the most common thing on the planet. It's baffling. Won't anyone think of how the woke left is making the brown M&M less sexy? And yes, Hakuya has hit it on the head, which is that there's a certain type of person who... needs to act like who has decided to professionally act like an alien who has only understood human society from Facebook. like that has no physical reality, that is a total embodiment of like an alien. It's so strange. It's so strange. And it's...
Let's talk about something related. It's a topic I feel like I can't avoid anytime I talk to anybody, because we're talking about those alien conspiracy from TikTok and Facebook. We will come at a point in our humanity where there will be so much like fake AI propaganda that like we're gonna be at a point where we're gonna have issue differentiating what's real and what's not, and that scares the fuck out of me.
I think non-trivially about how in the cyberpunk setting, like Cyberpunk 2077 comes from, that Mike Pondsmith wrote back in the 80s. One of the features of that of the society in cyberpunk is that the old internet is so polluted and so full of garbage that nobody uses it.
Yeah, the dead internet.
Yeah, the dead internet. It's just kind of this like self-contained like hell zone full of, and like people will go in there to do like archaeology, but like nobody, there's like no like daily users. Like normal people don't go to the old part of the internet. They have like separate air-gapped modern internet. Because the old internet is just like this demon-haunted world of like ancient AIs leveraging grievances
that is really how it is in this. I didn't know.
Yeah, the divers. And this is kind of what I think about, because it's not like, at the end of the day, somebody needs to go outside and pull a carrot out of the ground. Somebody needs to go out there and water a tree and pull iron ore out of the ground and go and hit I-beams with a giant hammer. Like the work still needs to get done. And if the internet is just a giant vortex of insane lies that make no sense, I think people will use it less and figure out other ways to get around. That said, this is also really annoying. This is also very, very annoying because I have seen people just believe absolute whoppers. That just completely uncredible lies. And I come from a knowledge production background. And yeah, Hockey has pointed out that like there's a belief that we can do 100% automation, and so far we've been trying to do 100% automation since the Stone Age, and we have not succeeded yet. So I come from this field of knowledge production, right? I'm a former academic, I'm a former professor, and there was this very brief period where you could reliably get an incredible amount of incredibly reliable information by looking for it online. And we are on the other side from that. It is no longer really the case. And I am... the one that really gets under my skin is people will ask an AI for a research list, right? They will do like, this is like the good example. This is like the good student version that you'll hear about people talking about. And they're like, oh, like smart students who like care about their education will do this. They won't use the AI to do the assignment for them. They'll use it as a tutor. And so they'll have the AI be like, okay, what are some books to read about the Satsuma Rebellion? Right? What are some history books about the Satsuma Rebellion? And I'll be like, okay, here's a list of books about the Satsuma Rebellion. And then they'll go to the library and try to check out those books. And those books don't exist. Those books never exist. They don't exist at all. And yeah, Miss Janken, I am at this point when I want to look up a fact, I actually pretty much always make sure I get my hands on a PDF file at a bare minimum. It generated the book titles. There's actually There's actually an interesting... my Blue Sky following is... mostly people I follow on Blue Sky are actually academics, much more than VTubers. And a historian who works at a journal, right? So, like, he's not writing his own history articles. He works for a private company that publishes academic articles. Because this is how academia actually works. Universities aren't really doing the publishing so much as private journals that charge the universities. And... they tend to be staffed with former professors. It was a career field that I absolutely could have wound up in if I had done things a little bit differently. And they are getting a huge amount of submissions from historians, not from real historians, from amateurs, from liars. They're getting submissions that will cite sources that were supposedly written by people who were on the journal staff that they didn't write.
Okay.
Like imagine if I was like, hey Janken, here's my script for a new video. It refers to some other videos for like a video essay, and then it like links. It has like, and then for on this topic, check out this video essay by Mr. Janken Poem, and there's not one that you ever made. It just doesn't exist at all, and like you know that you didn't make it because you are you. Like that's what we're talking about. That's the level of silliness that we're on.
Yeah. But like. The thing is that the solution of just like, you know, reverting back, right, to like, oh, let's just grab the actual book, or let's not use the internet, is not using the internet like really slow us down when we live in a world that is completely doing the opposite of slowing us down. So I don't know, man. Let's all become farmer and just like make community and self-sustain ourselves and like not go on the internet.
It's challenging. I think I have probably been less negatively affected than a lot of people because my use of the internet has largely been academic blogs, which could get really bad, but so far have not, and Discord to talk to people that I know. Right, I'm not much of a social media guy, and it feels like the LLMs they're very suited and designed for interfacing with social media, and they're a lot less competent in other environments. They seem to do two things, right? Which is make like obnoxious SEO aping pages, which like those drive me nuts, but frankly they've been driving me nuts since 2016. Like that is not unique to LLMs. That is like, I want to know, can dogs eat blueberries? Are dogs allergic to blueberries? And I looked that up on Google, and since like 2016 you will find 20 pages of results in a row that are weird, repetitive, circular things about the history of blueberries and the history of dogs that like don't even sound trustworthy on the face of it. There are somebody's like half-remembered suppositions from elementary school.
Yeah,
like, what the hell am I looking at? That's been true since longer than we've had LLMs, but it's definitely gotten worse. Unambiguously has gotten worse. And then the other one is social media posting, where like, oh my god, social media is like barely usable. But I've just not generally been much of a social media guy. I'm like a little bit old to. I am at the generational gap where I felt like Facebook was for the kids when it was more popular, and then like I don't know. I guess I just wasn't old enough to be like the Facebook grandma.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they give you the answer maybe at the end after you've been thumbed through a bunch of ads, which creates a problem because I don't trust them now. And so my point with this is that like the only adaptation that makes sense, because eventually people still need to like go to work and do their jobs and eat meals and not get poisoned all the time, like, is that we will have darker, smaller lives.
Darker, smaller
lives, yeah. We'll have lives where we see less and are less connected to other people and have less experiences. There'll just be more friction between you and getting things done.
But it's supposed to do the opposite.
Oh yeah, no, it's just failing extremely badly. It's just frustrating, right? Because I don't think I am particularly a broad spectrum technological pessimist. I think I look at technologies and I try to take them for what they are, and sometimes I see some really, really cool, useful, interesting technologies come out, and then there's some real hot nonsense. And I think the rule of thumb that has obtained is that if something is good, they don't need to sell you this hard on it.
Yeah.
Like,
man, like I don't know if you, I don't think so. I was about to say, I don't know if you've been in a work environment where they treat AI like the second coming of the Christ. But like when I was like at my previous job, it was just like insane. They just couldn't shut up about it, and they just like they were like, have you done it? Have you used AI today? You got to use AI today, because who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. If you want to have a job tomorrow, you better like learn how to use AI, because this is where we're going. And you know, the same way that like when the internet came out, like if people didn't know how to use the internet, not sure like they would find a job. And like it's just like every single day, oh, have you done your AI goals for this year? How did you use AI this year? And it's just like nonstop.
So
I'm just like, what's next? Like I thought that I had a career field that like I could like, you know, grow, and now I'm just like, I don't know exactly. Everyone has told me just become a prompt engineer, just like become a, like everybody has told me that. It's like that's the future. Like start now. And I'm just like, I just want to like grow plants, I think, and just like become like an hermit or some shit. It's crazy.
I will say that a very interesting and valuable study, and I want people to internalize this one. And if people want me to find the I might actually go find the citation anyway, because it's one of my articles I've cited the most often. The MIT did a study on the effects of using AI, on the effects of using ChatGPT in particular. And what they found was that the more often you use ChatGPT, the worse you get at using ChatGPT. It is a rare example of a skill where experience makes you worse at using it.
You start trusting it?
No, it's that the actual thing that ChatGPT does, right? ChatGPT is a correlative database of English language phrases, or I should say tokens, right? The tokens is the phrasing that they use, so it's technically sublingual, but it is a series of statistical correlations, right? That's all it is a series of statistical correlations, and so all it does is it creates grammatically meaningful sentences, and that's it. That is it. Not even say meaningful, grammatically accurate sentences. That's all that it does. It just creates.
It's really good at translating.
It's good at a certain type of translation.
I can tell you that I have never found anything as good for Japanese. Like everything other solution we have for Japanese suck. Like really bad. Listen, it's able to do Quebecois speech in a 99% accuracy. Like sometimes there's like a little hiccup. And I was just like, I have never seen anything being able to reproduce that. But that's for languages. Maybe like you said, it is good at making those things.
Here's the archive.org link. It is annoying that we have two different archive.orgs spelled differently. But the I have noticed it, Rabid Mud, and it's driving me a little bit nuts.
Me too. And the same way that YouTube is now putting automatic auto dub. Without prompting you.
Yeah, Inari noted that Portuguese Inari was particularly cursed. But here's what happens, is that because all it is doing is giving you statistically likely sentences. That's what it outputs, is statistically likely sentences. This means it is actually exposing you to less novel ideas. It is reducing your exposure surface to novel ideas. And so what happens is that you get trained to write more like ChatGPT and to think more like ChatGPT. It's a self-reinforcing loop that cuts off and reduces and sands off the parts of your mind that are actually creative. And the parts of your mind that are actually creative are the only parts that are valuable for using ChatGPT. So it is training you to be more like itself, which it does not need because it is already fully itself. So this means that the best use case that they found, they gave people multiple sessions of using ChatGPT to answer different questions. And they had different people having different amounts of exposure to ChatGPT, et cetera, et cetera. What they found was that the best time, a person's best use of ChatGPT is their first time.
Okay.
And you get worse at it after that. The question then is, I'm curious about this because this is a short range study, right? This was a short range study. I think this was just like over a couple of days. I am curious if that is permanent damage or if that is temporary damage.
It's also a study.
It's a study. This is true. This is true. It's a pretty robust one. This one's pretty good for what it is. And it is not the funniest or most broad study. The funniest one that also MIT did this one was on the business effect of using ChatGPT. where they tested corporate initiatives to implement ChatGPT or other AI into their business models. Over a 95% failure rate.
I believe it. Well, you should tell my previous company, because they would not believe it. They really think that.
I mean, but they're your previous employer, right? We should want to spite them. We should encourage them to invest more heavily. We should encourage them to liquidate their stock and all GPT.
I sadly saw a lot of people being let go because of AI, especially for linguistic stuff. Translation and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be. I will say that for the type, I find it funny, because in the type of work that I do, the things that I need, the thing that I am lacking in, is high accuracy information. Accurate, reliable information is the stuff that I'm really lacking in. I am comfortable with information that is formatted weirdly or inhumanly or awkwardly phrased, or that I have to do a little bit of work on, but I need it to be accurate. I need it to be accurate. I need it to be meaningful. I need it to reflect reality. And I normally put this in terms of my other job, but frankly, in terms of VTubing, right? In terms of VTubing, if I am going around looking for VTubing advice on how to be a better VTuber, on how to reach more people, on how to make more money, I am not lacking in reasonable sounding bullshit. If I want to find grammatically
so much bullshit about what you just said. There's so much. It's crazy.
It's endless. It's an endless ocean of bullshit. And that was before ChatGPT. Before ChatGPT, you could find 1,000,001 VTubers giving you the worst advice on the planet. I shouldn't even say the worst advice on the planet. I should say just pure nonsense. Just stuff that occurred to them in the shower and that would be really nice if it worked, but has no evidence, has no practice, has no even good theoretical grounding, is just a complete shower thought by a teenager stuff, high Diaz level nonsense, and you get contradictory advice in VTubing all the time. And so I am way more interested in something that is tested, that has any sort of experience backing it up, that has some sort of A/B testing or reason to indicate why it would be wrong, right or wrong.
I want to talk about
do that. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to talk about something on that topic, but before I talk about that topic, just want to quickly note what Rabbit is saying in chat. That sounds like a danger zone. It is scary.
There are law firms that have already been sued. There are law firms that have already been sued over it. In the case of this was actually one of the ones that that one actually kind of hurts my head a little bit, because we've already had the revolution in law firms, particularly for America, because in America, Americans do so much of our entire society through lawsuits. And through our court system. Our court system is functionally our actual bureaucracy in the United States. And so we already had the revolution / jobpocalypse decades ago, when computer-aided drafting and printers, home printers, and mail merge allow you to do all of the things that you would want LLMs to do. If you want to make 50,000 independent, different lawsuits that are completely accurate legalese that you are sending out to every single person who has so much as looked at you, you can do that with Microsoft Word and Microsoft Outlook. You can just do that in Outlook, and they can be all customized to each individual client you want to sue. That has already been done. And it will be legal, and you can do it with legally accurate language that is reliable, but also customized to each of those 50,000 recipients. Mail merge is a very powerful tool. Using an LLM to do that does not save you time, but does introduce errors that will expose you to counter lawsuits. It's very stupid. It's very, very stupid. And the apocalypse already came because this used to be something that, like, this is why lawyers used to have such a higher pay than they do now. Like, lawyers have seen a real decline in pay over the last 50 years in America because each of those steps, from Xeroxing to home computers to home printers to mail merge to electronification to having searchable online legal databases, that was a huge one. Those used to be things that your L1s would do and your junior partners. You used to send your junior partner to the legal library to spend 800 fucking hours searching through the entire legal codex to look for case law. Now you can do that with Control F.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
I mean, that kind of shit makes sense, no? Like, that kind of shit, I get it.
Yeah.
But what is the goal? What is the big picture thing when we're just like, okay, we use that, but now let's just have like AI do it instead? Like, what are it?
What's the value add?
Are people really think that we're going to be running a fully automated society that like is more perfect than what humans are doing? Like, is that the goal here?
Well,
like, sometimes I'm questioning it.
Well, and like rolling all the way back here, like, let's put this in like big philosophical terms, right? Let's do some like big macro scale philosophy before we bring it back. Philosophy of automation. Humans have been automating forever. And one of my favorite pieces of automation technology that was a major invention that completely revolutionized human society, that we are living with, the consequences of it are almost impossible to overstate. Pottery. Pottery is an automation technology. It automates.
How so?
It automates away the part where you have to look at your food so that other people don't eat it. You put your food in a jar, you seal the jar. You now know that the food is there. You don't have to be swatting away flies. It is there and it is being watched. Right? You are replacing a task that a human could do, which is looking at your stuff and swiping away all the bugs and telling other people to not eat it. You have replaced that with a pile of clay.
It's really interesting the way you're describing it. And I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't think usually in
we don't
that kind of...
We don't usually. We don't. But
because we're so used to it.
Yeah, we're so used to it. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm mostly trying to highlight that this is something that we have been doing for eternity. And there's other technology we've been doing this for eternity, and there's other technologies where it's more obvious, like a water hammer, right? You take a water wheel you put a water wheel in a river and it spins.
Yes.
And then you hook that to some gears and it turns a hammer, and the hammer slaps something on a regular basis. This replaces so much labor.
Well, just having let's say on a horse or on a bull, you would have like the tools that you put on them, and then you go and then they suddenly do the soil for your farming, that kind of stuff. I get it. I get it what you mean.
Hockey, I would not. I'm actually I am a history guy, and that's one of those things that I would kind of point out as being like a big difference between Roman and medieval society, is that in the Middle Ages you have a lot of water wheels and windmills, and during the Roman era those would be done by slaves. And there is a way to think of slavery as a type of automation from a very narrowly slave owner perspective. Like if you're talking about like Pliny or Cato, like they were using their slaves like that, but those are still humans at the end of the day doing human labor. I think that it's the point, it becomes automation when you substitute non-human, or even I would even say like, because even I'm such a vegan that I feel awkward about talking about using a bull or a horse as automation. I do feel like a windmill is a big break from that. But substituting like very inanimate labor for human labor. But what you might notice about all these things, right? What you might notice about all of the things that I've talked about is that eventually a human still needs to intervene.
Yeah.
We have never gotten that 100% reduction.
Exactly.
We've never gotten the 100% reduction. We've gotten 50%, we've gotten 80%, we've gotten 90% reductions, like over and over and over. And like the big one, the big story of human technological advancement is that up until like the 19th century, maybe the 18th century, but certainly up until quite recently, farming societies needed 80+% of their people farming. You know, like that's just how pre-modern civilizations worked. Is that the vast majority of humans living in ancient Rome, in medieval Europe, in medieval Japan, in imperial China, the vast majority of them were peasants that were farming. And agricultural, pre-industrial farming is extremely labor intensive. It requires an enormous number of people. It is basically your society. It is fundamentally your society. By vote, it is the core of your society. It is everything. And now less than 10% of people in most industrial nations work in agriculture. In the US, it's like 1%. And the US produces an enormous amount of food. Like, it's not like the US like doesn't produce food. The US produces like enough food to feed over 1 billion people. It's just we've gotten very good at automation in a lot of different ways, but we've never gotten 100% automation.
You know,
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, finish your thought.
And so the idea, every time somebody tries to say like, oh, this time we're going to have 100% automation. People said that we are going to have 100% automation by 1900. People said we were going to have with like pneumatic tubes. People said that we would have 100% automation with home computers. People said we'd have 100% automation with coal-fired power plants, and it never happened.
They're trying, though.
They're trying. I understand the quest to pursue better and more efficient ways of doing labor. The idea that we're going to do it with LLMs feels particularly silly because all that LLMs are kind of good for is like summarizing emails.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
They
I mean, there's some stuff that, like, to be honest, like, it's saving me some time.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I'm not looking for precision in information. But I just wanted to say real quick, I think when I was in elementary school, maybe, I had a teacher that was already seeing it. And basically, they were saying the next era in human evolution, the next step, the next age, was the age of what's the word? Of pleasures, where human is not working anymore. This is the goal of humanity, like broadly. Like the goal is that we're not working anymore.
I mean,
a little bit like Wall-E kind of story.
I'm not going to say that I'm against that. I think that that's worth trying to do. I will make a very frustrated little can thing here, which is the amount at which people are talking about LLMs. When people talk about LLMs and diffusional models as things that are saving human labor, the thing that they're trying to get people to stop doing is they're trying to get people to stop writing and stop drawing and stop making art. And
that is insanity. Like, why, of all the fucking thing we could have done with this shit, why did we have to fucking like think like, oh, art? Yes, of course, my machine can do art. Just like, did you not get anything of the concept of art? It's
very frustrating because I will see.
It's crazy.
So there are two parts about this that drive me a little bit nuts. I'll talk about the less kind of hot one, which is like artists. If you give artists a tool. This is a sociological perspective, right? This is my sociological perspective on this is the people who are saying that like AI is going to like revolutionize and change art are predominantly people who do not do any art and actively resent artists, whereas artists are very unenthusiastic about it. And here's the thing: artists are pretty enthusiastic about adopting new technologies.
Yes, absolutely.
One of the classic technologies that was the phrasing used for it for decades. I remember this being true for decades. A solution looking for a problem. The solution looking for a problem was lasers. And artists had use for lasers decades before there were industrial uses for lasers. decades. It took us decades to come up with military and industrial uses for lasers, and they were already a firm part of movies and concerts and music production. And these were firmly established in the arts for decades before somebody figured out a way to do anything industrial or military with them. But in the case of AI, the artists don't give a shit. Like artists will adopt all sorts of cool stuff. Photography. People talked about photography as a thing that was going to like completely destroy art, and that's absolutely untrue. We developed photography as its own art form. Right? Yeah. Like this is like, and what these guys are proposing, what they're talking about whenever I'm doing like political and economic looks, and I'm finding like the type of pundits who I've never found very trustworthy talking about what AI will do, is that it will free us from the horrible burden of making art and writing stories and talking to our wives and buying gifts for our friends and talking to our friends and having sex and doing all of these things, and we'll replace them with giving us more time to spend on like day trading and putting screws into smartphones and doing dirt farming. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. One of the ones I remember being a particularly funny one, a very small funny one, was a guy replaced all of the apps on his phone, all of the icons for his apps on his phone, with Kermit the Frog themed icons. So instead of like the YouTube logo, it was like it was like Kermit like holding the YouTube logo and stuff like that.
Okay.
So the thing is that he had the AI draw that, and then he spent the time resizing it and doing the back end coding to make the icons match up, which means that he did the boring, easily automated part of the job, and the AI did the fun, cute part of the job.
To be honest, Al, like I don't know what's wrong with people. Just like when you think about it, like we said, right? Would I like not want to work and only create for my channel, create thumbnail? I actually like doing thumbnails, like when I have like fucking, sorry, I'm getting a little bit heated. Fucking Mr. Beast, he was just like, I made something that would make algorithm perfect thumbnail. How about like I actually enjoy making my thumbnails? They're part of the creative processes that someone agrees that to be on YouTube. And just like why do we keep on? I just don't want to work, bro. I don't want to go and work in a corpo slavery bullshit where I feel like dehumanized. Like let the AI do it, you know? Like I'm just let the AI do like the bad shit. Why does it have to touch anything remotely fun? I don't get it.
And the one that like is the most like profound one to me that's like really hitting is the people using AI to like message their wives and girlfriends. And I'm just like that one like blows my mind, because like the only way I can conceptualize that, the only way that I can like put that in economic terms, the only analogy I can come up with is going to a restaurant and buying food and then just paying for it and then just walking out without eating it. Like the part where you have a person who loves you that you talk to is the winning. Like that's the victory. That's the payoff. That like what are we talking about here? like no, Yasuna, like it's absolutely a thing. It's and I mean this is
so that's the thing, right? It's just we are in a weird phase, and I don't think we're gonna get out of there easily. Where instead of seeing AI, just like literally just like we remove all the things that we all agree as a society as shit, right? We just and then we let the AI do this because that's the point. I feel it should be, but I don't know why I feel because there's corporate greed, like all behind this machination that like kind of like see that like that's what could happen, and then now we just replace it like no, just use AI for all of the things you wouldn't do at work, which I don't know, it's crazy. Like
so also hello Nekomaster. So here's the thing, is like people talk about artificial intelligence stuff that has nothing to do with LLMs or diffusion models, right?
100%,
and these will tend
major.
to have reasonable industrial use cases. And I will also point out a thing that I think about all the time, which is that once an AI turns into something that's like good at identifying like cancerous growths, people stop calling it AIs. Like it all of a sudden becomes like a tumor identification algorithm, right? Like
that's the thing by itself, right? The two letters AI, artificial intelligence, like in the current format of whatever like we're using with ChatGPT, there ain't no intelligence there, bro. There's no intelligence.
It's a statistical database. It's a spicy autocomplete.
Exactly. Exactly.
And there are other tools that are doing some pretty interesting stuff on like streamlining and making more efficient certain types of research or economic analysis or healthcare. Like it's not impossible, but the LLMs that we see on Twitter that are getting all of the press, these ones max out at a tool. Not even a tool, I should say, a toy. These things are Mad Libs. They have the absolute maximum kind of. Miss Janken highlighted like that she uses it for brainstorming.
Yeah,
you can use a deck of cards for that. Like this is the thing that like we've been doing this kind of thing for decades, and it's not going to fundamentally replace the underlying part where like you need to make accurate statements, which is a thing that it cannot do. And if it did do that, would require completely different architecture. What we are instead seeing, and so I don't think this is about people making a cold, rational decision about how to make money. I think that's a very small part of the puzzle. I think a much bigger piece of the puzzle is people who never quite recovered from being worse at writing and playing instruments and making art than their peers. And are now using this as this is their
it's
jealousy.
A bunch of frustrated people, man.
Yeah. I think
this is a bunch of frustrated people.
This is far more parsimonious with the behavior that I see online than that there's an actual reason to believe that this is going to revolutionize our economy. Like that requires the idea that like this is going to like, even if, and this is part of the reason why I keep on highlighting the fact about like diffusion models and also writing, right? And also writing and creative writing.
Yeah.
Drawings and like credible sounding bullshit is the way that I phrase the output for LLMs. Is credible sounding bullshit. It is never accurate statements because it can't be accurate because it doesn't know anything. And when it's tested for accuracy, it produces consistent 0%. It does not. It cannot be accurate. It can produce stuff that is credible sounding English. That, you know, this is also true of a lot of fiction writing, right? Like this is not like to say that that's not nothing. But my point with this is that just random drawings of women with big boobs and credible sounding semi-corporate bullshitty sentences are things that are so cheap as to be free. Like, even if we completely replaced every single job that is making sycophantic bullshit that has no fact checking on it, and every single job that is drawing big titty anime women, even if we replaced every single one of those, it would have virtually no economic impact. Like, this would not revolutionize society, even if it was 100% replacement, because those are things that people are doing for free all the time in such massive droves that the question is not, can you find any of it? The question is, can you sift through it?
Yeah.
Like,
I thought about something I thought about something with the conversation we're having now. In my field, right, in dealing with programming and all that stuff, automation, like we just said, like has always been a thing, right? And I have dealt before machine learning was so predominant, like since the last 3-4 years. Even before that, like almost like 10 years ago, where we had like automation running for test, for example. Like we would have tests, and then it would like come up with results of the test, right? Automated testing. And I've always said back then when it like this whole like machine learning shit was all over the place, I've always said, if you can't trust your automation at 100%, then you shouldn't be using automation.
Yeah.
So, and now it's like it's like we don't give a shit what the result is. Like as a QA, like this aggravate me to my core, because I'm just like, no, it should be, if it makes the single little mistake, we stop using it and just we go back in the code and we make sure that we put everything that in there to make sure it's perfect. You want it to make art, it better be like the best creative, non-using any of other people art. And like, if it was like 100% creative, like non-based on anything, which is impossible because human like learn art through others and then develop their own. It's not gonna happen. But I'm just like we stop. We don't even like we don't even nourish the idea. We stop. We can't assure that this automated answer, that is like the machine learning that it is, can be correct. Then we stop.
It's my take on this is from a little bit of a different angle, because I'm not from QA, right? I'm from writing and editing. And my thing with, hello again, Onirin, unless that's you saying goodnight. The thing I think about with the thing that really hits me with it is that you need to edit it afterwards, right? There are multiple layers that it has to be edited at. And so you need to edit it to make sure that it is artistically clever, because that's the thing that AIs will not produce. LLMs will not produce artistically clever sentences. They'll produce the most basic, simple, safe sentences. Yes. And the other part of it is that they don't do any fact checking. And here's the problem with me from an editing standpoint, is that those are the expensive parts. It produces a pile of words, right? It produces a giant pile. It produces a pile of prose, of raw prose that needs to be that needs more editing and more fact checking than if you got a human to do it. And those were already the expensive parts. It is making the cheap part cheaper and the expensive part more expensive. Stupid. I have so little utility for this. I have so little use for this. Again, somebody might be able to come up with a version that is somewhat useful for me. If somebody could make a really strong, really rapid fact checker, that would be lovely. And guess what? We've had that in the past. It was how Google worked 10 years ago, and now it doesn't work that well anymore.
No. I can't find anything on Google. It's insane. That is also a symptom of why ChatGPT is also gaining traction. I'm not going to lie to you, Al. Like, living in Japan, there's a lot of, like, I talk about paperwork a little bit, like for a smidge earlier, right? Paperwork is really complicated here in Japan, especially as a foreigner, and like finding information online is really, really hard. And I would rather, I hate saying it, I would rather have an crumb of idea of information about some topic that I just simply cannot find using Google.
Yeah.
Because I had some results using AI that at least led me into real tangible stuff that I could work with, compared to trying to find it on the internet, and I could just not find anything. This is a huge problem. The fact that, and I'm talking out of my ass here, and I think Google knows it, and I think that they kind of gave up in delivering on the service of what they could do.
I mean,
to let AI just like take over.
I mean, even before AI took over, they did. We have smoking gun evidence from internal documents from Google that they viewed the part where they gave you accurate and meaningful results as an expense to be reduced.
Yeah.
Like, and so...
Well, what's happening right now on YouTube...
Oh, God, the YouTube stuff. Oh. The YouTube stuff is deeply funny. The YouTube stuff is I'm assuming you're talking about the new restricted mode changes.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
My goodness.
Oh my God.
I just so this one has been so funny to me because my personal favorite interaction with the new restricted mode, and we'll probably talk about this more in depth because you're more of a YouTuber than I am. My YouTube content is very limited. Was Jacob Geller, who is a YouTube video essayist who I like quite a bit. And he was looking at his restricted mode, and his channel gets nuked like crazy. And Jacob Geller is a very like spicy video essayist.
Yeah,
like he's a spicy video essayist. And his recent video essay that was on video game guides, like the Prima Guide to X type things, right? Like these old like game guides. He did a video essay about that. That one gets knocked out by restricted mode.
Almost everything does, though.
Yeah. You know what didn't get knocked out by restricted mode among his recent video essays?
No.
Dreams of Nuremberg. The video essay where he is complaining about how the Nuremberg trials didn't kill enough Nazis.
That's insane.
It appears that the restricted mode is so dumb that it is basically looking for mentions of video games and killing anything that's video game involved.
In my case, it's what is surviving is mostly Hololive.
Yeah. Because what it seems to be is that it seems to identify video games as a child-friendly topic. And restricted mode is about restricting things that would be seen to notionally people under the age of 18. And so that seems to be the change, is that they have decided that all things related to video gaming in any context are things that need to be child friendly. So if you mention a video game and you say the word kill, you know, that common verb in video games that never comes up, you know, you'd never kill anybody in Apex Legends, then your video's out.
I still think that it is nonsensical anyway right now, the way that like we can't even make it make sense, to be honest. And it's I don't know anymore. And I wanted to talk about this earlier, and I'm going to use the YouTube topic to segue, because you were like saying like people have opinions on VTuber, but there's a lot of bullshit out there, right?
Absolutely.
And I had a very good talk yesterday. Would you remember Reina from when we had the Janken?
Yes. I've managed to do one collab with her since then. I want to do another one.
Cool.
We haven't gotten to get this.
Well, now she's doing her own thing independently, and basically, I know that her and their partner, they have a lot of experience, and I had like a talk with them, and basically they were telling me something that I didn't know, but many things they didn't. They tell me that I was doing wrong in the sense of YouTube, how it works. Basically, YouTube is both the best and the worst for growth, but the problem is, I don't know if you knew about that, but you post on YouTube or not at all?
I am dumping VODs there, but I need to make thumbnails, so it's basically been like nothing. I've made like three YouTube specific videos ever, and
we're in the ads right now.
They're not good. Yes.
I'll wait, because I kind of want the people to learn about that.
Okay. I need to use another bathroom break.
Again?
Yeah, I've drank like a liter of water since last.
I am quite resistant to bathroom.
No, so, I've got classic old man bladder.
All right. Go ahead. I can wait.
All right. If you want, do you want to be on this, or do you want the BRB screen?
Put me on BRB.
Okay. And we're back.
Hey.
Hey, so you had heard some potential nonsense, right?
Yes. Well, no, it's not nonsense, but I mean, it's nonsense once you know about it, that it works like that. So basically, I was saying YouTube is both the best and the worst for potential growth and also like being seen. But you got to understand how it works. And technically, live stream on YouTube, live stream only on YouTube, are terrible because of a little data that is really important. And if you don't know about it, like me, then you're getting punished despite like having like a good, decent success. So basically, in the analytics of YouTube, there is, I need to find it so I can properly, yes, I found it. There is a thing that is called the average percentage viewed in a stream, right? Average percentage viewed, and that means someone that is actually like watching your content like for X period of time, so it counts like as time watch, and it usually comes with the average view duration. For example, let's say on your channel you have a lot of lurker because people like want to, you know, listen you talk, but they're not actively participating in the chat, or they're not like looking at the screen, they're doing something else at the same time. They would probably like not count as your watch time, right? And then when you're streaming, it is kind of normal that people are not like actively watching. Like let's say, for example, you're watching a video, not a live stream, a video. You want to learn something, so you don't want to skip anything. You want to hear anything. It's like 5 minutes. You're there from the beginning at 0 second until like the video is done and played. So you watched it, you gave the data that you watched it 100% of the time, right? And this data basically is very vital to know if this is a successful video, and YouTube would only push successful video. If you have a stream where you had a lot of lurker and they were not like actively giving you a percentage viewed in your stream, then this will drag down your statistic as a channel. So after a while of doing only live stream, the YouTube will kind of stop pushing you. This is why a lot of the corpo VTuber, they don't care, because they have already the recognition of being established, and people will watch no matter what. So they don't care if on their channel they have only live stream. But what like they don't tell other VTubers like me that are mainly on YouTube is that it will kill your channel. And I found something really funny, and I'm gonna send it to you, or I can send it in the chat. I know you did send some stuff in the chat.
You can send in the chat.
There's a guy, I just need to find his name. His name is the Spiffing Brit.
I know Spiffing Brit. I know. Yeah.
And he likes to breaks basically YouTube. And he did an experiment where he would kind of mess with the algorithm of YouTube, because when you stop, when you clip already released video, it will keep the data. It will keep the data of whatever like watch time there was prior. But then when you cut it a little bit, you will now make the video shorter, but it won't replace the percentage that was there. So the percentage that was watched will now fit the new percentage length of the video. Do I make sense? Am I making sense?
You're gonna have to rephrase that. I did not follow you at all. Yeah.
So basically, you have two stats, right? That you care about. Let's say it's a 1 hour, let's say a 4 hour video. Okay. You have a 4 hour video, and let's say the percentage viewed of your 4 hours video is let's say 50% to make it easy, right? And technically, if you you go back in your video that is already released, right? And then you edit it, because you can edit within YouTube. You can edit a video and you can like remove half of it. So if you would remove half the time, you make it a 2 hour video. Because your average watch time percentage was 50% on a 4 hour video, now it's a 2 hour video. So technically, it is now double. So you have 100% watch time, because it was 50% on 4 hours, but now it's 2. And then if you continue cutting it like that, it will just increase, because the data of 50% watch time, it won't change, but it will be taken in accordance the length that goes with the 50%. So the math goes with the current length, despite the video being smaller. Anyway, all this to say that live streaming on YouTube is a terrible idea because of the way that the algorithm is built. And the only way to go is probably to have like a channel dedicated for videos, if you really want to use as a platform to live stream, because live platform to live stream either on Twitter or no, on Twitter, what I'm saying, on Twitch or YouTube is a platform, right? There's nothing for to be discoverable on Twitch really anyway. So except like the categories, like if you end up like being in one.
The discoverability on discoverability. Twitch has been kind to me. But not because the computer is doing anything nice for me. It is because it's fairly easy to direct your friends and to accounts that you like. And
but then again, are those raiders becoming your viewers after that?
There's a rate. There's a rate at which there's a conversion rate. And I mean, I'm getting viewers from somewhere. I have an audience from somewhere. There is a way in which my audience grows, and it's certainly not by YouTube or via TikTok Shorts. It's certainly not via those. It has been dominated by people finding me on Twitch, via Twitch, and very much what I'm getting at is word of mouth growth. It's very much word of mouth growth. And this is this is the way that it kind of operates. And this has been kind to me, a person who is an old fogey who doesn't have a lot of interest in trying to do, we call it, you say like studying the algorithm, or like trying to learn about the algorithm. I am used to an older term, Kremlinology. Kremlinology this is a fun historical term. This is a Cold War term. So in the Soviet Union, right, in the Soviet Union, there was a very close-minded approach to what you could do with the works of one Karl Marx and what it meant to run a society and all of that stuff. So there were very sharp limits on what you could politely say, what you could politically say, and still keep your career and your standing in society. And however, the rules about what were verboten, the rules about what words you could say that would suddenly get you branded as a revisionist or a capitalist running dog or whatever, those were often hidden and secretive and would tend to change and shift subtly over time underneath your feet. And the process of trying to figure out what words you can say to like get your political goals done but not get destroyed for saying something that's too daring, too bold, too capitalist adjacent, too anti-Marxist, that process is Kremlinology. Because it's the Kremlin. It is studying what the Kremlin is thinking, the Capitol building. It is, and so I think that's what I think of this. I think a lot of this is Kremlinology, and a lot of it is bullshit. Just like the original Kremlinology. It has been demonstrated time and time again that the algorithms do not actually have a distinction in what they do to your video for killed versus unalived. They don't actually care. People have tested this on every platform. Sometimes people say it's a TikTok thing. It is. People have tested it on TikTok. There have been large scale studies of doing basically the same video but using the TikTok polite phrasing versus the non-TikTok polite phrasing, the blunt phrasing, the plain English phrasing. That they do the same. They do the same. TikTok does not care. It's possible that the community of viewers on TikTok cares. That being the type of person who says unalived as opposed to killed is something that makes you look savvier and more intelligent and more clever to a certain type of TikTok user. But the TikTok itself does not give a shit. So that one's just a pure rumor. That's pure mythos that has been traded amongst creators as superstition. It's superstition. And I don't have a lot of patience for this. I want to go live. Oh, hold on. Does nothing but annoy viewers. What a sewer slide. Exactly. Yes. And it's it's a thing, right? Where is a very internet kind of superstition. And I will say I tend to think that a lot of the way that people talk about how language changes over time is kind of obnoxious. Like some words get more and less polite over time. To use a very recent example, like last 10 years example, there is a verb in English that if you use it as the verb is considered fine, which is retard. You know, it's I believe it's from French. I believe we got it from French.
It's French.
Yeah, to slow down. To slow down.
Retard is no, it's not slow down. Not in French, at least.
Okay.
Retard would be like something that is late. Je suis en retard. Je suis en retard would be like I'm late. So if you would say that as someone who is late in their kind of like educational or just like in the they're taking a long time because they're late. Yes, you can say slowing in that sense, but usually it's used for late.
So it's used in physics and engineering. Still in English, we use retard in English language physics to mean to slow something down, like you retard the rocket. That's retro thrusters are used to retard the rocket. Flame retardant. We do use these things in that sense. And then in the early 20th century, it was used as a polite phrase in the early 20th century. Not anymore. Again, this is linguistic drift. In the early 20th century, it was developed as a polite term or reused as a polite term for intellectual disabilities. For people with intellectual disabilities. And then particularly in the latter parts of the 20th century, it was deliberately used as a hurtful term.
But it's supposed to be retarded development, I believe.
Yes, that would be the longer term. The child has retarded development. And it has become in common English language use just flat out a horrible slur. And that's a relatively recent one, and this just means that like you'll read something from as recently as like 2000 that like you'll be kind of stunned by, right? And Mix is saying like, also in mental health, in formal context, you'll still use retarded development. In common English, in informal English, it marks you out as a very rude person. But
isn't it why it became rude? Because you were just like, bro, these people like actually have mental issue, and you're comparing like someone with mental issue just because they're being a little bit of an idiot. Like, well, and it's silly, you know?
When it's a way that like anything changes over time, right? Like that anything kind of becomes a rude word is just a sort of cultural developments that change over time, and that they change. And I kind of have this weird belief, this kind of weird sociological belief.
It's funny though. To me, that word was always an insult. Like, do not do that. Yeah. Like I've like the how can I say the curve of you being like casual to kind of like being very bad. I don't know. In my book, it's been bad to like the max since day one. I don't know. It's because I'm not English or American or something, but it's always been like terrible.
I mean, the Canadians have historically been ahead of us.
Maybe.
Yeah, the as much as people talk about America being like the cultural empire that's like causing all other cultures to shift to us, I honestly think we tend to follow Australia and Canada more often. Yeah, gay was a slur at one point. Homo was a slur at one point, and at this point, it's like I almost only encounter that word in like really jokey usernames that gay people on Twitter are using. And yes, before the much harder one that I'm not going to even bother. This is just kind of a matter of like how language changes in terms of politeness. My own going theory. I have a my big sociology theory here is that languages have a kind of conservation of impolite language. And like you can't really produce a language where like all words are okay. If a word like comes out of like becomes more okay to use in polite language, some other word will become more impolite, because shit used to be like a really bad word.
Yeah.
Like in 95, shit was a really bad word, but using the R slur, as we now call it, was considered much more acceptable than saying shit. Calling somebody shithead was a much more impolite and rude thing to say. And which words get used has a matter to do with like who is winning culturally and how they are making their arguments and all blah 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 blah. Anyway, I don't entirely know where I was going with that, other than to point out that like this attempt in if you are a content creator, I do not think it is worth trying to juke the algorithm.
So okay, the thing is, you're talking about like the content,
like individual word choice. Yeah.
The content, like we no one give a fuck. I'm out about data. Like I'm about like number goes kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
It's all numbers. Like the machine doesn't care about like if you say fuck or if you say fuck like 10,000 times. I don't believe that. Like it in the grand scheme of everything, it actually maybe it does. Like if you're really granular with your stuff, where I'm talking about like, does it push my content or does it like stay and like it never shows to anybody, right? And that I think is really just like number wise and search wise, the word that are used by users to find something, and then the recommended, like if the words that I've input in the actual video, not the word that are said, even if like, yes, it's true that nowadays like it is definitely using a lot more of what is said in the video to actually tag it, because there's like the speech recognition that like will do a transcript of what is said. But anyway, all in all, I do think that it's just I don't see it in the same way like you say from the
criminology. Yeah,
criminology. I much rather see it like it's a program, and the program works in a certain way. And if I don't understand how the program works, how is if and it's like a variant and all that stuff. If you don't understand that, then you're fighting a losing battle, because you don't know what you're kind of fighting against. It's more in the sense that like the gears behind everything, I need to know how they work so I can make it worthwhile, that I'm not losing, because I didn't know about like the stat that I told you about, and it's not that like I was actively seeking that, it just came in a conversation, but then upon knowing that, I'm just like, oh well, I'm kind of fucked if like this is how it works for live streaming, and this is why live streaming is so terrible on YouTube. It's because of those numbers that I was not aware. And I would just say that like you can go the way that like you're kind of doing it, just like I do things, and if something happens, but I like I said earlier, right? I'm the kind of guy I gotta know why. I can
talk with you. I know that we are running low on time for you, but I can talk a little bit later, because some of this has to do with like differences in how Twitch works versus how YouTube works.
Yes,
at a very deep level.
Definitely.
Yes, at a structural level, but it goes beyond any algorithmic recommendations. But it's a I do find it really interesting. One of my favorite videos on the content creator side of things, I will link it here because I've linked it a dozen times. It was by Super Eye Patch Wolf. Super Eye Patch Wolf is great. Do you know this guy?
No, but
it sounds like a really goofy name, but he's an Irish MMA fighter who cut his teeth doing shonen video essays.
Okay.
Very, very clever, very creative guy. The much Yeah, he does MMA. Oh my god. Why is this being so hard to find? There we go. Influencer courses. Influencer courses are garbage. I looked at the wrong thing. And it's a very long one. It's a very long one. But this is a very thoughtful essay, and a big point that he makes that a lot of other YouTube, like big YouTube creators, like people who are 1 million, 2 million plus subscribers keep on making, is it's more important to make content that you take seriously and that you believe in than anything else. Because the algorithm will shift under your feet, and you will not be able to tell that it has shifted under your feet until long after you've even released the videos that need to be responding to it. That need to be responding to those shifts. This is admittedly partially because these people are putting in like very densely edited videos that often take months to produce. But it is something to be said that like you said, like, if you're not armed, what can you do? But the information, the actual algorithm that you are trying to equip yourself to deal with is changing constantly. It is changing under your feet. And the only way that you figure out how it has changed is that people are doing a previous strategy that used to work starts to die. And so that means that you can only ever be negatively reactive. You are limited to a form of reactiveness. And so this means that I do think that there are ways that it's worth caring about and worth trying to science out, but you're always going to have a lot of limitations on the amount of knowledge that you're going to have. And the timeliness of that knowledge are both going to be very limited. And which is scary, right? I'm not going to pretend that's not scary. Like, that is scary. that's a scary
just like
thing.
the AI bullshit that's happening right now on the platform is quite scary, and it's going to happen on Twitch. It's going to happen everywhere.
It's going to happen everywhere. It's going to happen everywhere. But you said you had less than half an hour left, slightly more than half an hour ago. So it sounds like
you was it already?
Yeah,
I thought we said
it's been 35 minutes since you said you had half an hour left.
It's been I thought in my head it was at 30.
No. We roll smooth here, buddy.
But overall, we barely talked about Japan.
We got some talking about Japan. I
thought you were full of question.
Well, I mean, we got on other lines of thought, and I did learn some things. I did not learn nothing.
Okay.
It is. It's hard for the two of us not to talk about games and development and of course just being cranky old men. It's very hard for the two of us not to be cranky old men about how the people are starting to accept just lower and lower standards for things. That's very frustrating to both of us.
Are we being boomer? Are we being in the same? Yeah, we are.
We're boomer brains.
Because I was wondering, like, when it's starting, like this kind of like. I am now like an old millennial, and like when is it gonna like kick in? Like, oh, it was so much better in my time, and like, all right, Grandpa, time to put you to bed.
Sharkray, being an old man is not it's not something you can put in numbers. It's not something that happens to your body. It's a feeling deep in your bones. And it's the feeling that candy just doesn't taste as good as it used to. So
if you never liked candy, maybe you were an old man from birth.
The whole time. Maybe the old was coming from inside the house. As I like, Mix is here, and Mix was diagnosed old at the age of 5 years old. And your options about getting old. You have options about getting old, and I have wholeheartedly embraced it. I have accepted that people have been going okay boomer at me for over a decade now, and it turns out that it's actually just great. It's actually just great.
Isn't it? I'm gonna finish that, but isn't it scary because we do know that like when some of our grandparents were acting like that, it was just like they were close-minded. I don't feel close-minded. I just literally think that these things are really terrible. I'm welcoming. I love technology. Give me all the technology. I fucking love technology. Just like, don't give me like evil, like auto drawing, auto like removing fun out of.
They're trying to take the fun away. They're trying to replace your bread with sawdust. It's not there's a technological advance. It's that it's a cheapening.
It's crazy. Like Miss Janken, like she deals with kids sometime, and they were like teaching her about the Italian copy pasta, whatever, like what it's called. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like there was like this the Italian AI bullshit, like that would make like the shark with the shoes, and it would make like those weird character. What is it? I'm really
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
You know what I'm talking? I'm sure chat know what I'm talking about. It's the Italian. I thought it was Italian copy pasta. Was the
I don't know a lot of copy pastas. 90% copy pastas
it's Italian meat brain rot. Italian brain rot. Have you not heard about this shit?
Nope.
Yeah, they're like the Crocodilo, Barbarino, and then other like character, and like, oh my god, yeah, I just like awakened mix there. And like how this is the hype shit that like the kid and then often like this shit is not for kid at all, and it's just like it's the cool, and suddenly I'm just like, am I a boomer, or this is really creepy and this is not should be a thing? Look it up later. Italian brain rot.
There's a Wikipedia page.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why the word brain rot was like the word of the year in 2024. I don't know my years. I want to go back. And then exactly, the kindergarten are full of that stuff. Exactly, same thing, Emperor. And then people don't understand like what the fuck like this is, but they think this is like the most hilarious thing. And some of the
this is me being substantially older than you. Is that this is something little kids are into absurd nonsense all the time. They just are. I remember kids really enjoying Sesame Street skits that were just like two puppets saying absolute nonsense. Like kids like silly little connections of random words and think they're very funny. It's, I don't know. I think you just kind of roll with it. This is
maybe, but this is the kind of stuff. I'm just like, is this me being a boomer?
This one's actually you being a boomer. This is not just you being like a regular old man. This is you are going through the phase of old man where like you're cranky about it's little kids get into this stuff every single generation. They're going to be into it through their teenage years. I remember when the kids younger than me were really into Invader Zim, which is just nonsense. Or Ren and Stimpy,
no. It's at least there was an artistic intent behind. This is pure garbage, like made by AI.
Here's the real test. The real test here. Kaleidoscopes. That's what I think is the important
what about
one.
it?
That's the important one. Kaleidoscopes are actual nonsense. They're actual auto-generated nonsense. Like, I feel like if something isn't, this is kaleidoscopes to me. This is like looking at a kaleidoscope to me.
Wait, what is? You mean the thing that you look in the light and it's just random light?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just random nonsense. It's nonsense. People find that stuff entertaining. Like, I don't know, sometimes people are entertained by noise. By noise that looks like it has meaning. People get entertained by it for all of human civilization. I can't get mad about it. I can't get mad about it at this point. People got entertained by kaleidoscopes, by making nonsense babbling sounds with babies, like whatever. I can't get upset about it. I don't have the energy for that.
Maybe. What it is, the only thing that is sad is that there is like literally like no creativity here. It's just like bullshit like typed on AI and then just like thrown on the internet.
If it's kindergartners, I'm not that worried about it. If it's somebody who's like really still invested in this like late in their life, I get a little bit worried.
yeah, but
I get a little bit more worried.
You should read about it though, because there is some of the stuff that is really not cool. Because
no. I mean, that's
but,
I think a lot about the era of the pregnant Elsa Spider-Man videos, and those are just like, those are pretty messed up. Those are actually pretty messed up. That was a little bit of a weird thing to put kids through.
I guess I am part boomer. Let's end it.
So folks, I have pinned a message. Hopefully you did not dismiss it, with a link to Janken Palm's regular haunt, his main hunting grounds. He is a YouTube VTuber.
I'm on Twitch too, but I am mainly on.
I will give you the
Twitch
shout out as well. You are shout out at Janken Palm. Be nice to Mr. Palm. He is a much more thoughtful. Oh my God, I'm not following you on Twitch like a jackass.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm a more thoughtful. What do you mean? What does that mean?
I roll up to stream, and I roll up to stream, I do my vocal warm-ups, and I yap for 8 hours about books I've been reading and academic controversies. I have zero
but at least you're
prep
respecting your brand. I was literally scorned that I'm not respecting my brand yesterday. So at least you are doing your thing. That
I'm just saying your videos actually have a focus. They're actually about something. I just roll up and I just do whatever I feel like for 8 hours. You're like, I'm gonna do Uma Musume today. I have a challenge run that I'm going to do today. We're taking this seriously. I'm
more focused on what I'm streaming. I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely a more focused VTuber. We are doing a Discord movie night tomorrow night. We are going to be watching. Let me grab the link. We are going to be watching In the Mood for Love, which is an amazing film, folks. In the Mood for Love is incredible. It is a Wong Kar-wai film about infidelity in 1960s.
I've actually because I have I've seen this movie because I worked on it for not a thesis, but a university work because I have Asian studies, and I believe in my Chinese cinema courses in university, we work on this. I may have done an analysis for that movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's a wonderful one. It's a wonderful.
Yes.
I think that of all of the people who have ever been on film, Maggie Chung in The Mood for Love might be the single most attractive a person has ever been. It's incredible. Her outfits are the best. They're mind-bogglingly good, and some of the best lighting you'll ever see. It's a great film. And we also watched Punch Drunk Love, which I have not seen. I have less to say about it. Thursday I'll be back. I will probably be painting minis. And Friday, I am going to be on an away game. I'll be doing an away collab. And that is the week's schedule. Mr. Palm, do you have anything? Oh, actually, hold on. I have one big last thing to plug for myself before I give my guest the chance to plug himself. Subathon is incoming. The 22nd. The 22nd is Almantas affiliate Subathon Take 2. Number 2. Second anniversary Subathon. I will have been in
anniversary?
Yeah, second anniversary. My affiliate anniversary is October 20th, so I'll be doing a subathon for a month leading into it.
But you're not counting since you have your new appearance, right? You're talking
the new model will be coming. The new model will be coming during the subathon.
No. I'm talking the appearance you have now.
Oh,
you did not start with this, right?
No. Affiliate is affiliate's a formal status on Twitch.
No, I know that, but
it didn't correspond with when I came to doing model years.
Okay.
No, it didn't correspond with model changes. No.
Yeah.
It didn't correspond with model changes. It corresponded with me hitting certain viewer benchmarks.
Right. Okay.
But yes, folks, we are going to go to poor Grimmy. She is doing her own subathon, and she has so many hours left on the clock. hundreds of hours on the clock right now.
I do not think that Grimmy is poor in any form or shape.
I think that she is suffering from her own success. Those are our raid messages. Please be nice to Grimmy. Do not embarrass me in front of her. I look up to her a lot. She is one of my favorite content creators. And Mr. Palm, do you have anything else to plug?
Nothing special. We have some Umamusume in-game tournament this week. But be on the lookout for next week, though. There will be definitely something next week to... I don't want to talk too much about it, but yes, next week, be on the radar. There will be something.
All right. So then, I believe that you have a phrase that you like to say, and I'll try to coordinate with you.
Which one?
Otsu Old Man? Is that it?
Otsu Old Man, yeah. We can say Otsu Old Man. Yeah.
Old Man.
Otsu Old Man, everybody.
All right. Goodbye.